Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Making Maps with Axsom and me, TH Pine. Hey Axsom, how are you doing?
I am extremely tired. But
You're extremely tired. That's a good start for a
Monday.
stream.
Yeah, it's a Monday. I just need some coffee, alright?
I mean, coffee is important, obviously. Well, it's early for you, it's late for me. Time zones and stuff.
Yeah, the magic of time zones.
It's always crazy how that works.
Yeah.
So I'm tired for different reasons. No, it's fine. It's fine. So yeah, we're here to make some maps today because we thought the most unique selling point for the process is obviously that we have a procedural algorithm that helps us making maps, and it's pretty interesting. And so we wanted to show it off because we think it might be interesting to people. And yeah, so can you? Well, basically the idea is we have an algorithm that generates the foundations of maps, and then we have a level designer like Axsom or Sandwich go over them and give them the final touches and send them out in the wild. And that allows us to create lots of maps per week, which means our level pool will always be fresh. And
pretty much.
That's the idea. So yeah, can you maybe give us like a really high level rundown on how this process goes for people who never saw what you're doing right now?
Yeah. So basically the level gen, like the biggest part of level gen is it takes care of a lot of the behind the scenes work that most people don't think about, and it takes care of all of it for us. Like I'm not talking about like cover placement. We're talking about like how these, like the shapes of the rooms like assemble themselves. Let me turn this on really quick if I can find it. All of the behind the scenes stuff like audio fields and all that, it takes care of all of this for us, so we don't really need to think about it too much. And it assembles the kind of the breadth of the level for us. So like if I go into our little room handle here, so like level gen decides where it wants to place each of the pieces of the level, and I didn't have to do anything.
I forgot to announce our stream, so I'm just going to do that right now. So please keep explaining stuff.
By the way, level gen just takes care of like the high end, like what is the shape of this level? Where are the important pieces located? It can do some of the smaller like fine detail work, but I know Sando and I like to manipulate that ourselves to make things more interesting. But it's pretty powerful. So like the editor is a mix of automated stuff and like easy like objects that are designed to be used by a designer like myself or Sando. So like this little doorway right here has a special script tied to it where I can hit a button and it spits out a little doorway. So I can run this thing repeatedly until I find something that I really like. So I actually really wanted that other one that I just spawned, but come on. I know you won't give it to me. No, there we go. So like there's some things that are just ease of access items, other things run automatically. Like Office has already kind of assembled itself. All I really did was place a doorway and hit a button, and it spat out a staircase for people to go up and down.
Yeah, overall, I think it's fair to say that like you're always trying to improve how the level generation works, right? So different parts of different tile sets are in different shapes, I'd say, or not shapes, like states. Like some of them are more automated than others.
Yeah, of course. So like factory is probably one of the ones that has the more. Yeah, it's because I've been working on it for the past couple of weeks. It has more of the automation. So like shelving is kind of a room that assembles itself. I can still like copy paste pieces of it. So like let's say I think it would be really interesting for shelving to expand all the way down here. I could totally do that by hand and it wouldn't take me too long. But Level Gen was like, hey, we're gonna start it up here, and then I work right. I decide if I want it to go further from there, or if I'm like I like Level Gen's suggestion, let's keep it.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I'll give it a few more seconds and then I'm gonna repeat what we said at the start because actually people are watching now. Because I forgot the announcement because I'm a dummy.
Fine. I'm gonna run the poster and pass, so we're gonna have a little bit of downtime while it does while Level Gen thinks.
All right, let's do that. Okay.
Yeah, it'll probably poster and pass is doing things like putting in girders, attaching the roof, adding lights, shit like that. Which takes a little bit because there's a lot of little pieces it needs to add. So like there'll be girders up against this wall right here and here and here. Yeah, there it goes.
There we goes. Okay, yeah, I think most people have dripped in, so we're gonna kind of restart the whole thing again. So yeah, for everyone who just joined, hey, we're TH Pine and Axsom. I'm the community manager, and Axsom is our lead level designer. Today we're gonna share our map generation process because it's the unique selling point for due process. Basically, the idea is we have an algorithm that creates the foundations for maps. Well, I'm gonna have to turn this up for a second. I'm gonna explain that in a second, but stop clicking. Not you, Axsom, the viewers. So yeah, we have an algorithm that creates the foundations of maps, and then our level designers like Axsom and Sandwich are going in and giving them the final touches and sending them out in the wild, which allows us to create maps with a very, very little effort and allows us to put out a lot of maps in a short duration. Well, right now I think we committed to at least 20 new maps per week. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think that's what we've been pumping out. Like I know I do 10 factories every Monday.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I think we're doing 20. And the idea is, like, I think right now the map pool is mostly growing, but the idea is to also remove old maps eventually. I think we're at over 150 in the current pool right now.
Yeah, we're like 150, but we've been steadily removing maps for the past, like, 3 or 4 weeks. We've been siphoning off the back end and as we add new ones in. I think the goal right now is to keep it in and around 150 like total in the pool of time, but it's just we're constantly cycling out old ones and cycling in new ones.
So basically we're adding 20 new ones and removing 20 of the older ones to keep the map pool fresh, to force you to make new plans every round. Hopefully that's the idea.
Pretty much.
So yeah, and since this process is pretty interesting and pretty unique, we thought it would be interesting to share this with you, with the community. And so here we are, and today we're going to make some maps. And we're going to make factories because that's what Axsom is working on right now for the most part.
That's been my whole life. It's been my whole map making extravaganza for the past like 2 months. It's been oops all factories.
Oops. I mean, that's cool. So yeah, give us a little rundown again from what you did earlier, like high level. How does this work?
Yeah. So
what's the basics?
So we hit the start, we hit the start level button. Level Gen takes care of a lot of the behind the scenes work that most people don't think about. So if I turn the layer back on, you can actually see like the level volumes, the reflection probes, little snap probes, like lighting, like we got your reflection probes, light groups, level volumes, like the things that make the game run behind the scenes that people don't really think about, things that, allow the levels to light the way they do, things that allow lights out when you flip the breaker to actually function in game. Level gen takes care of all of that for us, and I don't have to think about it. The other thing that it does is it assembles kind of the shape of the level, which is something that I never ever manipulate. So like loading docks, the warehouse floor, the cargo container offices, where shelving is located, where the storage is located, and servers. Like level gen takes care of all that for me. I don't think about it, and all I have to do is hit a button down here to get a new layout, and it takes like maybe 10 seconds for me to get a new layout.
For factory, that is.
Yeah, just for factory.
I think the other
level
Teslas...
gen takes care of kind of the hard parts. I mean, it's also assigning textures to all of these objects. So like the textures on these walls were all automatically assigned, so I didn't have to do any of that, which is a lot of work that I don't have to do. I mean, it also put like these windows in and was like, hey, we're gonna randomly assign some, we're gonna randomly put some boards and stuff on here, just for flavor. Like level gen takes care of that for me, and I don't have to think about it.
Yeah, and they're also, if I remember correctly, at least, they're also like mini generations you can start manually.
Yeah,
just
so
spawn shelving units over here or something like that.
Yeah. So, like this guy right here was the example I used earlier. So like, there's certain objects in level gen that are rigged to allow basically ease of access for a designer to do things. So this guy has a button hooked up to him on my other monitor, and if I hit it, it will actually spawn something. So in this case, it spawned the staircase, and that was just a click of a button. I didn't have to like go in there or search for an object that I wanted. I just hit the button and boop, here it is, and it's contextual to where I placed it.
Yeah. So in its base, basically in this case, it's going along the wall until it hits another wall, or how does this work exactly?
Yeah. Let me get Slack out of here. All right. So yeah, I mean, if I go back into this mode. So what it's doing.
Node mode.
Yeah, node mode. So if we go back into node mode and I disable this for a second, you can see that there's all of these like little nodes along the wall, and there's one up here on the object that I clicked on. It's like this guy's got like two little nodes right here and right here. Those are door nodes. So when I click the button, it goes, oh, I'm going to start here and look for what like node patterns are down here, and then try to place something that will match this pattern. So in this case, if I pull this guy out, you can actually see the nodes that it used.
Mm-hmm.
You've got, a whole like it's like a 4x4 of wall nodes right here that it looks for, and when it tried to place, right here, if we drag him back in, like it, those nodes line up, and it's like, oh, yep, I can definitely place this thing here, and that's how level gen works. So that's literally what it does when it's generating. Is it looks for these node patterns and goes, aha, I can place something here.
So it's basically playing like 3D domino.
Yeah, basically.
Is that a decent comparison?
It's like one big Lego set.
Yeah.
And you're kind of shaking the box up and pulling it out and going, aha, look, we assembled a car.
But it's also like there are also random elements to it, obviously, because that keeps it different every time.
Like the shape of the level is always different.
Yeah.
Like I never move rooms around. There's just way, like if I again go back to that view, like there's way too much shit going on for me to just drag a room. Like I'd have to start replacing wall sections and making sure everything's on grid and lined up, and it's not.
And there probably a lot of like little things that could go wrong if you do that.
Yeah.
And then later when Ozzy does the QA pass for the level, he will find like lots of stuff and gonna shout at you to not do that again.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that how this works? I think I figured out how the workflow in this company runs by now.
I get yelled at a lot.
Okay, fair enough. So yeah, there was a question in chat by Revenant, if I remember correctly, like, are we going to do fresh maps today? Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're basically streaming Axsom's day-to-day work today, because that's what he does on Monday. He does new maps. He makes new maps, factories to be precise.
Yeah, this is literally what I've done every Monday. Like, if you're one of our boosty boys, I tend to do streams like this in our Discord for our Nitro boosters at night. So this is the same thing, only we're doing it on Twitch.
Exactly. So, what? That's important. Oh, Axsom is too quiet. I can change that.
Am I too quiet?
Also, give me feedback if the music is at a good level. I did some sound tests, but it's obviously always a little different when it's actually going live then. So, wait, where's my Discord? There. Make Axsom louder. Oh yeah, you reduced. There we go. Okay, say something.
Hello.
Oh, that's
I'm
way
a
louder.
potato.
Let's put it like this. This should be good. Hopefully. Oh, music is too quiet apparently because nobody. Oh wait, someone says it's appropriate quiet. Someone says there's no music.
I'm so glad.
I mean, that's probably at a good level then. I can turn it up a little bit maybe, but it should be, no, people saying it's fine. Okay, that's good. Because I want to be it like super subtle in the background, but there should be something in the background. By the way, that's the OST. That's our soundtrack, our official soundtrack with songs that are not in the game yet. So you can buy that on Steam if you're interested. I couldn't hear it until you mentioned it. Yeah, it's at the right level, I'd say. It's just supposed to be in the background. So yeah. Another thing you do when you do these Boosty Boy streams in Discord is like you ask for people's input on what you should do, right?
Sometimes I did a make a map with Smit. Like I
Yeah,
got
he told
bored
me
and was
actually
like, hey,
earlier.
I was like, hey Smit, how do you want to make this factory? And then it took me like 2 hours to do it, but we walked him through how to make like I did all the legwork. He was just like, hey, where do you want this thing? And he's like, hey, move it here, put this here. It was pretty fun.
So he was basically remote controlling you.
Yeah, basically, I was a little beep boop robot for a while. But again, it was pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
His map is actually in the game
Sounds
right
like
now. It's I don't remember the name. Hold on, let me if I pull up Windows and pull up my sticky note. His map was named Malice Hermit is Smit's map.
He's in chat right now. He just posted it.
Oh lol, yeah, but yeah, his map was Malice Hermit. That one's in the game. Took us about 2 hours to make. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would assume so.
I'm trying to figure out where I want this.
Did he good?
Fan.
And don't say anything wrong because he's actually watching. So.
Wait, what'd I say?
Did he good? Like how?
Yeah,
how
like I think he did a pretty good job. Like when he picked. So I was sitting here genning top downs for a while until he found one that he liked, and then he was like, "Let's do that one," and I was like, "Okay, I have a couple ideas how I would make this level, but I want you to start." And then he's like, "Put a door here and a door here," and I'm like, "You're gonna do pretty damn close to what I would do," and he did.
Fair. Diagra asks, what kind of voodoo magic do I have to perform to at least get one more clubhouse map?
You're gonna have to like. So not only are you gonna have to do voodoo magic, you're gonna have to invent a time machine.
Oh no, clubhouse dead.
that shit's yeah, it is super broken right now. Like after Clubhouse went live, I went through and did. So of course everybody gave feedback. I took a lot of that feedback and started manipulating the level generator itself for the the Clubhouse generator, and it's pretty broken right now because I got about halfway through updating, like taking the feedback that everybody gave and turning that into actual like changes to level gen. And yeah, it's like halfway through being updated right now, and if I run it, like you're gonna get some real broken stuff.
Yeah,
like, walls, doors missing. Like one of the things that I tried to do was if you remember the Clubhouse maps, bar was kind of useless. So I remember when I would spectate, bar felt kind of I never saw a lot of people back there, and it didn't really feel like it offered good cover. One of the things that I did is I actually moved bar under the VIP room.
I remember one map where bar was completely OP, like it was necessary to take. But like, most maps it was kind of not as important.
Yeah, like it's easy for me to make something in the level OP. All I got to do is put bomb near it, and now it's like, now it's super OP. That's all I have to do to make something in the game really overpowered or just super useful is shove bomb over there. And now everybody wants to go there. But yeah, so if you ever get like in that particular map, I probably put bomb facing that thing, so it was that OP.
Yeah,
but
yeah, it was like bomb was like somewhere upstairs, like but exposed, and bar was down there and had like a good sideline on it. It was like really important to take it.
But yeah, so like what I did is I shoved bar underneath VIP, so you had this nice like little over-under fight going on. So you had like people on top of the VIP section doing their thing, but then there were people underneath it. So it was like, okay, attackers have the top. How do we kick them out from down below, or vice versa?
Yeah. Okay.
And,
so yeah, club is dead for now.
Yeah, for now. Like I'll eventually get tasked with fixing it.
Making it come back.
Because I mean, Clubhouse, like, understand, Clubhouse was originally a thing I did on a weekend because I was bored.
Yeah.
Like,
it was basically your way of experimenting with level generation, if I remember correctly, and
yeah, pretty much.
I guess you learned a bunch of lessons from it. So at least it's like spiritually, it's still in the game because you're applying those lessons. But it might also actually come back eventually.
yeah. Like I was messing around with level gen, trying to figure out if I could do stacked rooms. So like that's what, if you remember the security room. That's
the security room that was completely dark. Yeah.
Well, no, the dark part of it wasn't intended. That was just a side effect of it being on the Kill House map.
I remember, yeah.
Because Kill House is lit from the top, and there was no ceiling, so it was just always dark. But
right.
I just wanted to see if I could get it to generate different room themes on a 1F and 2F level, which I was able to do successfully. Because if you remember, the bottom half of security was like a server room that you could run around in. Then the top of it was basically courtyard from Kill House, where there were windows up there that peeked into any room that it was touching, and that's what I wanted to see if I could pull it off, and I did. So like all of that generated naturally through level gen.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Like I feel like there's a lot of, interesting enough, our system is like generic enough that you like still have a lot of things you can, like, it's more of a sandbox than a fixed algorithm, right? So you can like mess around with it and give it different parameters and setups and just experiment with it and create new stuff. So it's more like a toolbox, I guess.
Yeah, like level gen itself is pretty powerful for what I can get it to do. Like like one thing I could do with this, I don't have it rigged right now, but like this little shelving thing that I have, I could rig it so it would have one of those special buttons and it would automatically chain itself when I hit the button, which is probably something I should do. But I can get level gen to basically make whatever I want.
Yeah, that's another thing we touched on earlier before I did the announcement, so before anyone was watching. So different parts of level gen are in different states because like it's always an evolving process. Axsom's always trying to improve level gen by setting up more scripts or more connections, more whatever you would call them. Much. And that means that different parts of the level generation system are differently like require more manual input or less. Like some of them are more advanced and some of them are more simple.
The original goal was to get level gen to do like 100% random 100% of the time. So if you remember the old Block Dude builds, that was that. It was 100% random all the time, but you would end up with situations where you would hit like the weird part of level gen, like like the weird part of YouTube. You'd hit the weird part of level gen where it would generate like you'd get a level. So back then the levels weren't too big, so imagine just this rectangle right here. Like that was OG level gen, and what it would do is when you hit the weird part of level gen, you'd get shit like this. Let me fly over here. That's what you'd get, and that would be your level. Would be this, and you'd have like, why are all of these level gen? What are you doing to me? But that was level gen 1.0. As we continue to work on it, I just gotta replace all these now.
Can you just do undo? Is there no undo in Unity?
Because I used the replace tool, the doors would have still existed.
Oh, okay.
I inserted, like, if I insert this door with code, and then I undo, see?
Oh, yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, so that's why I just deleted and duplicated.
Okay.
But yeah, like, we started making, like, more designer-friendly tools, because we spent more time kind of in the design phase, kind of nudging things around. And once we really started to like understand what it was going to take to light these scenes, we realized we couldn't do real-time lighting because that's what Block Dude build was doing. Like we had to do baked lighting in order to get the lights to, to get the lights off to work, because that's a very important part of the game. And it was like, okay, we're gonna have to do baked light maps. Well, at this point we can spend more time actually like nudging things around to make things interesting.
Yeah, that's the other like big reason because we moved away from the 100% level generation, like randomly generation on the fly, because now it takes like 20 minutes to bake a map or something like that.
To bake it, so it's like to bake a light map on a map, it's like 20 to 30 minutes, sometimes an hour, depending on how big the light is or how complicated the lighting scene is. So on the tile set that shall not be named right now, that takes about an hour.
So basically, while like even if we could push level generation to a point where it could like do all the things you're doing right now automatically, we could still not just put it in the loading screen, because then we would sit in the loading screen for 30 minutes. So
maybe in like 10 years when everybody's RTX on, you could get away with it, and everybody knows
okay, that could work.
The majority of hardware out there is RTX. Yeah, you could do it, but I mean, we're not there yet. Okay. Oh god. Where did I go? I'm in the void. Revenant, help.
So
okay, there we go.
So a lot of people have asked how the naming of levels works. Can you explain that really quick?
Yeah, so if I actually scroll down, so the levels are all random. So if we actually look over here, this is going to be the name of this level is Star Fortune. It picks, so it has a big dictionary. It has a list of descriptors, so like adjectives and verbs, and then it has a list of nouns. And it will either pick a descriptor and a noun, or a noun and a noun. So in this case, we got two nouns, which is Star Fortune. I can't actually change the name of this level. So if I wanted to change this to like, if I want to change it to this, the instant I click out, it changes it back.
Okay.
So like I literally cannot change the name of this level. Like code will not let me. The only thing I can do is swap the order of the names. So if I wanted Fortune Star or Star Fortune, that's the options for this guy. So let's actually save this scene. LevelGen's gonna think, it's gonna duplicate everything and save it in a new scene for me, just in case, I blue screen or something terrible happened. Come on, LevelGen, I believe in you.
People are asking if there's duplicate name protection. I believe there is. Besides,
what do you mean by duplicate name protection? So like
that you don't have like the same name for two different maps.
No, there's no protection for that. Yeah. Like we've had. We've had the map Fist at least 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, Fist is pretty common for some reason.
I mean, I know why. It's because Fist is in the name selector like 5 times.
Oh, it's multiple. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can have this. So like, there's a couple of words that we like that are in there multiple times. Fist is one of them for some reason, and I'm not sure why. But you know what? I'm fine with it.
But all right.
I'm waiting for Operation Moon, but it hasn't happened.
Moon. Oh yeah, that would be good. Moon. I like it.
God damn it, Moon.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm gonna enable something really quick. So we talked about viewer interactions for these streams earlier. What I did, and I want to try this really quick, is I activated a Twitch extension. So we're streaming to YouTube, Steam, and Twitch at the same time, but I only have enabled it for Twitch, obviously, because it's only available there. Most people are watching us on Twitch anyway, though. So there's a Twitch extension which allows you folks to click on the stream, and when I turn this on my end, it will show you clicks. So we can create like little heat maps, which allows us to like give some viewer interaction and tell us what you think how this level should look. So I'm just gonna turn this on now. You can experiment with it a little bit. Feel free to click on the stream right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out where I should put fan right now.
Oh,
I want to put a fan in this level.
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So click wherever you think fan would be well placed.
I wish I could see this because I've got a whole bunch of inspectors and shit open on my other monitor.
A good way to show this to you without breaking everything. I could.
No, it's okay. Right now, my suspicions are either putting it here.
I mean, a lot of people just click on. Okay, if you're moving the screen, it's getting wonky. So
yeah, it's hard.
A lot of people just started clicking randomly, so that doesn't. Most of these clicks are not super useful.
Putting it. Pretty sure I'm gonna put it down here.
Most people are putting it like on the. What's that? Eastern. Now they're clicking where you said. Great.
Like this is where I would probably put it.
But the clicks started out. Most of them started out on the eastern, like the mid-eastern part of the map, basically.
Yeah, like over here.
Yeah, over there, right? And a bunch of them are in storage, actually.
I mean, I could put one in storage. This is probably going to be the green entrance. It's the green entrance is either going to be storage or over here. Again, I'm not really sure where I want
green
this thing
fan storage.
I mean, fan storage is not out of the question. I just shelving typically has a fan in it, simply because if I give you the fan, you can now have access to this like little,
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's typically why you see it up there, so you have access to these things. If I put the fan here, you have to worry about a defender getting up here and being an asshole. Or if I put it over here, this is like an attacker-only zone. It's like the Shadow Realm. Only problem is if I put it here, it kind of rules out other locations for green doors. So or another red door, so I need to be careful. So if I did put it over here where chat was suggesting, which is fine, I could potentially put a red door like down here or something to give you a different line of sight. Or I could put one on docks, so you have this like big this big open line of sight this way. So we'll actually go with that. We'll see how that looks.
Yeah, so people don't like the moment you said that you would want to put the fan southwest. A lot of people click, but then they stop. Like people apparently are not super keen on that idea. They would either prefer storage or the eastern.
Yeah, so I put it on the eastern one for now, and then I put the secondary red door here. Let's go throw our other green door over here so we don't forget.
Yeah. Okay, so I have to make sure I always disable this feature when you're moving around because it's getting really weird if you move around and the click map stays where it is. That's just doesn't make sense. So yeah, one of the most important things you're doing during level generation is placing doors, because that's what level generation omits.
Level gen can actually do it. It just, again, remember when I showed you like down here, sometimes it ends just up like complete chaos. Level gen doesn't know how to properly like flow between rooms, so like it might just stick like, if we tell level gen, hey, you need to place a minimum of 5 doors across this many rooms, it might just put like a door here, a door here, a door here. Like there's no rhyme or reason to it. One of the things that I was experimenting with that was actually really successful, but I haven't had a chance to implement. If you look down here at my little like level gen control buttons, there's this flow button. So one of the things that I was experimenting with a while ago was the idea of breaking level gen down into smaller chunks. So like, let's say I do start, which gives me the shape of the level, the pre-room pass, which gives me like basic architectural stuff, centerpiece pass, which does things like spawn pieces of office or put the fan in, important objects level flow pass. What it would do is after I hit the centerpiece pass, I place doorways. After I place the doorways, you hit flow. And what level gen would do is basically put an invisible network of nodes on the floor that would go, hey, here's where I think players should go. And it does that by starting at the doorways and snaking outwards to touch other doors. And that's how it places its path. That's how it places the predicted player pathways, by starting at the doors and snaking out. So all that would happen is, a level designer would place doors going, I think players should go from this room to this room to this room to this room. Then you tell level gen, okay, go. And it would draw the paths on the floor, figure out where players should go, and then spawn cover around that.
Yeah, so it would spawn the cover to follow, like allow the flow path, basically.
Yeah, right? Exactly. It would keep the cover out of the pathway, right? So
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah. So in this case, let's say, let me just do a little drawing here. So we've got a door here, a door here, and a door here. So the flow pass might go, oh, players need to go this way and this way. So maybe perhaps these lines are exactly what it would do. So maybe it would put cover here, and here, and here, and here. So like that's how it would do it. Is it would try its best to not put cover on the predicted pathway lines, and then put cover everywhere else. And when I was experimenting with it in Kill House, it actually turned out quite well. I was able to create rooms without me needing to do anything. Like it would spawn a room, I'd look at it and go, that's fine, and I wouldn't have to touch it, which is huge for a level designer.
It saves a lot of time, obviously, and that's what we're looking for, right?
Time. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I remember you demonstrating that to me a few months ago, and it was pretty impressive. So that doesn't work for factories so well so far?
Well, no, like the pieces for it exist, but we need a couple more things on the back end of level gen. So like, in order to make it efficient, because right now it takes too long for it to work. So when I generate a level now, it takes anywhere between like 7 to 10 seconds. Flow pass takes like 5 to 10 minutes.
Oh, okay.
Actually branch out and figure out all of its pathways.
So you could just do it manually at that point, right?
Yeah, it's like I could just do it manually. Like I need to keep the time down. Otherwise, it's like, I can make a kill house in like 20 minutes. Like if it takes 10 minutes for it to run a pass and I'm still end up manipulating things for another 15 minutes, what's the point?
Yeah, I mean,
there are ways for us to bring that time down. It just requires engineering support.
And engineering support is very...
they're working on optimizing the game right now, so
it's scarce. It's very scarce.
Yeah, we still get it, and that's okay. It's just it'll take time, and when it comes in, that'll be a really big boon for us. And like once it happens, like hey, maybe instead of getting 20 maps a week, you start getting 40, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Like whatever helps us make maps faster. will end up
Obviously,
with
yeah.
like the raw output will just go up.
Yeah, that makes sense. That totally makes sense. So someone is asking, will there be any new type of maps coming? So what
Oh
he's
yeah, that's
speaking
what
of
the yeah.
about
Don't worry
is, I
about
guess,
it.
tile sets.
Yeah, don't worry about that. Already working on it. You're talking to
Yeah.
the guy who makes them.
Yeah. So yeah, we will have 3 tile sets right now: factory, kill house, and C-store, and more in the works. And the plan is basically, I don't know. Well, I guess the plan is to release more and more over time, basically, because that keeps level generation fresh, and that's what we want.
Well, I mean, it's more than just keeping level gen fresh, because like I can make a level feel more fresh by adding a new shape to a room. Like I
Fair.
did this with Kill House. A lot of our older testers remember like Kill Houses were starting to feel samey, and then on a weekend I added like I doubled the amount of possible room shapes. So like if I'm gonna explain that a little, like let
Sure.
me. Oh
Go
god,
ahead. What did you do?
I accidentally selected the entire scene, which is
Uh-oh.
kind of bad. All right, cool. So what I mean by more room shapes is like here's docks, and this level it's a little like 4x4 with the extension. It's got 2 bays. There are ones that are 4 long and 6 long. When I look at these warehouse pieces, here's your Tetris L piece, and here's or the squiggle piece, and here's your Tetris L piece. So that's a room shape. So like level gen 1, I want this L piece, and I want the squiggle piece, and that's how we got the shape of the main floor. Then later on down the line, I added a T piece. So right now, for factory, it just is using Tetris pieces, and it uses about. I basically told it to pick 3 of them, and it assembles it randomly. With Kill House, it was using I think 20 potential different shapes for rooms, but they didn't assemble quite the same way as factory. And after you've been in alpha for after you've been in alpha for like a year and a half, you start seeing kind of the same patterns emerge. So on a weekend, I doubled it from like 20 to 40, and the amount of like the shapes of the levels were just crazy. Like the amount of the different ways that the rooms are connecting was insane, and it almost made it feel like a new tile set just because we increased the amount of potential shapes that it could take up. So like it's easy to kind of spruce up level gen to make things feel fresh, but the goal out of the new tile sets is giving those tile sets like a unique experience. Because like on C-store, is unique because you have to deal with the shutters. On factory is unique because you have all of these massive lines of sight, and Kill House is just a wild card. So like when I say new experiences, it's like, well, how do you interact with this level that's different from the other levels? That's what we're looking for at the new tile sets.
Yeah.
Be it longer sight lines, shorter sight lines, more interactable elements within the environment, things like that. What makes this level feel unique?
Yeah. Oh, Six-Sided asks, is South Docks intended to facilitate consistency?
Yes, South Docks is intended to facilitate kind of an anchor point to the level. So like it's the same way on C-Store, how the windows are always on like the southish side of C-Store. Docks is much the same way. So if you say they blue docks, you're gonna know it's to the south. Could I make an east or west facing or even north facing docks? I absolutely could. I don't really want to because again I like Docks South simply because hey, like it acts as a focal point.
Yeah, it just basically like. People have to take in these maps really, really quickly when they play the game because they most of the time they never have seen them before. So it's important to have elements that you recognize and like have some general knowledge without obviously knowing the map because we don't want that. But yes, like consistency, like south dock is always south or shutters are always south, for example, are like a very good thing because it allows people like if someone calls out dock, then okay, it's gonna be south. And that obviously helps a lot. So yeah, I cannot catch up on all questions, but feel free to repeat them later if I miss them. I have a few of them here catch. Someone asks if there will also be an art stream because I like the art style.
I know
we have something like that planned. It's not quite. We will figure it out. It's
Zach does it occasionally in the DPL server.
Oh yeah, Zach streams in Discord. Yeah, we also want to do it on Twitch and YouTube and stuff. There's some, actually, yeah, there will be some progress on this eventually. We want this too. We want this as well. Also, someone was asking if you are the only person who's doing level stuff.
No, so I do. So, like, in what way, right? Like, am I the only person who makes maps? No, there's 2 of us. But am I the only? after that, it's like, are you the only 2 people that like are on the level team? No, there's more people on the level team. Like a lot of this wouldn't be possible without like our tech artist Ben, like
Yeah.
Mr. Bickle. Like like half of this shit wouldn't be possible without him. We have, you know, the people on the engineering team that actually code the level generator. There's a lot of people that work on this thing, and they all do just excellent work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all of it. It's a big team effort.
It is a big team effort to like make this stuff happen.
Yeah.
It's not just one person.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's you and Sandwich who are doing what we're seeing right now, like pressing the button and then putting stuff in. But yeah, there's obviously more to it, and especially when it comes to creating new tile sets, like the whole team is involved. Like, basically everyone.
Like I'm not an artist. I can't draw half this shit.
Yeah, me neither. We need art for it. We need the tech support for it. We need the level logic for it. Like obviously, like there's some game design logic to how levels should work, right? So we need everyone on board for new tile sets. So that's why it takes long. Like creating a new tile set is more complex than like making a new map in a regular game. Like if you think like you're if you think you're a regular shooter, like whatever, pick your choice, pick a poison. Like making a map for one of those is it's a complex task. Like people have like the designer have to figure out what is a good map, and then they have to create the art and have to put everything together. And we do all of that, but we also make it generic and repeatable. So we have to automate all the processes. So obviously we take that process and make it way more complex. So yeah, it requires the whole team. And
that's gonna be a gross map since I have fan up here. Like defenders are gonna be able to run around and be up here, like an attacker.
Oh wait, this is
gonna be gross.
Oh,
because like attackers have access to this, which isn't too much, but they also have access to this sightline, so they can cut off rotations and shit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this right here is gonna be gross.
They cannot get up there. Yeah, only defenders can. That's gonna be interesting.
You can also cover ball.
So someone else asked earlier, like, A, are there any stats on which side wins more often, and B, how do you like, do you have that in mind while making levels? Like, how do you accommodate for the map being balanced?
So that's kind of a hard question. So we'll look at, so like we have access to that. For the most part, it's a pretty even split. But there are some levels that basically spike, right? You look at a level and it's like, why does this thing have a 75% win rate for defenders? And then you go look at that level. We have other tools we can use to figure out, like, okay, what's going on here? Like we have like death heat maps, so we can like basically take a level to ask the server, hey, give me all known death and killer locations, and have it drawn out for us, and we can look at patterns and go, right here is like a massive heat spot. Why is this a thing? And then we can analyze it and go, because it's like just for a dumb example, it's a one-room bomb room or one-entrance bomb room, and all of the attackers are being funneled into this room, and it's a massive kill zone. It's all bad, and this is why defenders are always winning. We can look at that and go, let's not do that. Like we can look at maps, and if we see patterns emerge, going, let's try to avoid doing this, because it ends up, tilting things way in favor of defenders. So like, let's say this right here, like this shape that I'm doing right here, if this map ends up having a massive, is massively in favor of defenders, and there's all of these kills up and down this corridor because attackers are coming around here and just getting wasted, like, perhaps this is a thing we look into. It's like, maybe we don't have this. Like maybe shelving is capped right here, so you don't have these mega lines of sight. Like maybe that's a thing we look into, right? Like there's all sorts of things we can look at to determine, okay, let's ease off on this because this is too powerful for one team or another. Like if we end up seeing wall charges that are just excessively being used on factory, like the factory wall charges that I've been trying to sneak in as time goes on, like maybe there's one that's way too powerful and it ends up with like 100% win rate for attackers. It's like, all right, let's not do that again.
Yeah, so basically, right, we're looking at the results, or you rather, and then applying the lessons learned to A, the level generation itself, and B, especially to what you and Sandwich are doing on your day-to-day work, basically.
Exactly. So like
because, it's a mix of generation and manual process, as we can see here, and both can obviously accommodate for scenarios that are to one-sided. So there are a few questions that are not related to level generation. Since we have a lot of questions and there's a lot of stuff to talk about this, I'm going to avoid those. But I will do another community hours stream on Wednesday, so feel free to come back with those questions on Wednesday at the same time. So there were also some questions about level stuff, though. I that just scrolled up the screen. Oh yeah. So basically, people are asking if we're looking into somehow use machine learning to improve either the testing of levels or the generation of levels.
Dude, you want to code that for us, bro? Like,
Yeah, that's.
sign
I
me up.
assume that's the answer. This is like we would like to, obviously. Would be an interesting
that would be
experiment.
cool as hell. Like, yeah, like sign me up if if we had access to that kind of tech right now, dude. Like, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's a resource thing. Like the stuff is
Yeah,
not easy, and we're packed with work already. We're a small studio after all.
Yeah,
So,
if we had infinite money, absolutely, but we don't have infinite money, so
yeah, infinite money would be great for sure. So we're doing what needs to be, or we're doing.
Yeah, we're doing what we can right now.
Yeah, we're doing what we can. Thanks, basically.
Can't decide what I want to do with those stupid servers.
Should we do a click map vote?
I don't know if click map is. I don't know. Let me fix this texture first, because it's
okay.
God damn it.
What? What's happening there?
Okay, so what's happening is when I'm watch this area really quickly. So I'm basically dragging this texture onto this object. Look, it wraps around the whole top.
Yeah.
It's when I hold push to talk, and I'm like, why is this happening?
Oh.
If I'd done that, it would have read really weird from the map screen. Like, it would have been this weird brown thing in the top, and you're like, what's going on over here? What does this mean?
That's why I'm using open mic, so I don't accidentally press anything.
No, I mean, there's traffic and stuff outside and honking, so I try to not.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Got my window open because I'm warm in here. I don't know how I want to organize these servers. Like, my original thought was maybe this is the green room, but then I decided, like, halfway through, I was like, nah, let's not do that. But I'm like, okay, well, I still have to organize this thing.
I just enabled click map, so maybe the viewers can give us some info.
Yeah, let me.
Well,
what I'm thinking is I might just line this whole thing right here. Let's just put an island in the middle. Is what I might do. Like, put an island here, and then probably put like a smaller little pillar right here. So you have to like clear this way and this way, and there could be a dude here, there could be a dude here, that kind of shit. But that would mean it's really weak from like this direction. So like if an attacker got up here, he could see in, and he'd have let's do that.
Cat Monkey just made a good comment about machine learning. You thought old level gen made weird shit? Just wait till you get a machine learning.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Cat. Thank you. You thought you saw weird shit before. You just wait, bro.
Yep. That's the issue with machine learning. It can create a lot of very weird stuff.
Hey, look. To be fair, I create a lot of weird shit, so.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So it seems like people want to have like something in the center of the room and then something like next to the doors. I mean, that works as well. You're moving around. It's hard to read.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I'm a squirrely boy.
Makes sense. Server island. People writing in chat.
I'm doing server islands, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, again, feel free to give suggestions in chat as well and ask questions. I'll try to keep up with it, but I'm gonna have to skip some stuff or will not see everything. So feel free to repeat stuff later on. But yeah, keep it related to level generation, and other questions will have to wait till Wednesday, or just ask them on Discord or Reddit. We need more toxic goo.
Yeah, so the next level that I do is gonna have toxic in it, and I'm gonna make the entire floor toxic. So just as a spoiler. So we're gonna get an oops the floor is lava on whatever toxic room we decide to use. I'm gonna rig level gen so it always gives us a toxic.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, oops. It won't be oops all toxic like the one map from last week where literally everything was that shit. But maybe I should put power. I'm trying to figure out if I want to keep power over there, because power feels a little too close to bomb right now. Like I question if I should move this up into like the back right of servers. So like if you take green, you could potentially go and get power and do your thing. Yeah, I mean that could be a fun question. Should I keep it here or should I put it up here?
What?
So what I'm thinking of doing is taking
map
power,
style.
which is currently down here, and moving it up into servers.
Okay.
So what do we get for our click maps? What do y'all think I should do? I feel like Dora the Explorer right now.
While they're clicking, actually, well, this is not really useful because it just shows me 2 big red dots on these 2 points. I could use like I found 2 different extensions. Okay, so most people are for servers apparently.
Servers? Okay, I will. We'll move it up to servers.
Oh, someone did to be on the shelving unit. That would be interesting.
I mean, I could do that. So, if I were gonna put it in a shelving unit, it would be one that both teams had access to, because I don't want to put power on a shelving unit that defenders can't like make a plan like, oh, the attackers got up there and turned it off, and you have a guy who's chilled out in storage run up and like go out and turn it back on again.
Yeah.
Those kinds of plays need to be available to the defenders.
Yeah.
So like in this case, if we have power up here, what this enables is, attackers decide they want to go through storage. I mean, it puts more pressure on servers, because if attackers go storage, open up servers, and they hit power, well, fan turns off, and now both teams are now heading into this area. But now they both have to deal with office. So if defenders are ready for it, maybe they put some barbed wire down here and a flare, and they're more prepared.
That makes sense. So people are asking about like how does our this is chat-wise, this is still related to machine learning, but in general, like I think this answers the question nicely for now. Is how is our QA process right now? Like, if you make the map, how will it be tested before it actually goes live?
We give it to Ozzy, and Ozzy runs through these maps like once or twice and tells us what's broken, and then we fix it.
Okay, so
like he just goes through, fly cams it, runs around as a person, opens doors, does all the QA stuff.
Figures out if there's
if he sees something that he thinks
broken.
he can climb, he climbs it, shows me a picture of him in the rafters, then I yell at him.
Fair. So yeah, people are asking like if you could like elevate QA with machine learning or like balance analysis. I mean, potentially, yeah, but we don't have the resources for it right now. Like even doing like just analysis with machine learning is still like a lot of work, and like you have to figure out a way to create results that are actually meaningful and helpful. And I think right now this is like what you explained earlier basically is like this learning about the different shapes or scenarios that are too one-sided or not fun or whatever.
Yeah.
And like it would be cool to have an algorithm that just looks at the def maps basically and figures out what is wrong. But
my fear though is that we'd end up with if everybody's seen the meme map for CS, Horizontago, where it's just a straight line. Like that's my fear. What level gen will end up being pushed towards is look, it's perfectly balanced, guys.
Yeah.
All Horizontago. Just oops, everything's a hallway now with big long sniper lines, and all the deaths are in the same spot.
Yeah,
cool.
Probably.
Okay.
I mean, machine learning does some weird stuff. There are some funny stories out there. Like, I think there's a PDF around somewhere or a website that just lists like hundreds of ways where machine learning did go wrong. There's some funny stuff on there. But yeah. It just does things you're not expecting it to do. It's really hard to calibrate it in a way that's actually meaningful and useful.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to level gen. How close is this map to completion?
I'm actually done. I might go back and do some touch-ups later off stream, but I think this is okay for now.
Okay, cool. So the name is Star Fortune.
And
it will be in the pool on Friday if nothing goes wrong. Correct.
Yeah. It'll be in on Friday.
So yeah, we're creating maps right now that will be live on Friday.
Yeah, so that took me about 40 minutes to make, by the way.
Yeah, well, we were talking and stuff. Is that your average time for factory, or I think you're a little faster usually, right?
Say again?
What's your average time for factory?
Half an hour to an hour, depending on how much dumb shit I'm doing.
Oh, okay. So that was pretty much average, but it could have been go faster if we would not have like.
Yeah, because I'm stopping and talking, it's like it usually takes me about half an hour, but it can take way longer if I'm like trying to do something super specific. Like when I did the oops all toxic, that took me like 2 hours. That took me like 2 hours because everything was handmade.
Obviously, yeah. So Spooky asks, what's the philosophy behind balancing for certain teams? Do you plan door and cover placements for the fact that attackers have more health or certain utility? Or
I keep utility in mind. So like smokes and barbed wire, I keep in mind pretty often. Like if I see Shelving has made it easier in factory, but usually I'd have to like specifically put things out of the way to make the too wide area so it's appropriate for barbed wire. But like I do keep stuff like that in mind, especially for smoke. So I'm like, here's a long sight line. Let me like add a thing here and here to make sure there's like, you know, a choke for a smoke to land to actually cut off the line of sight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so this is a new map. Does it have a name already?
No, I'm thinking if I want to keep it.
Oh yeah, okay. So we're in the process right now where you're generating layouts and decide if you want to keep it or you just
like I would normally, I would actually normally use this because this is a good shape for me. Mm-hmm. But I want to do the all toxic. I want to do floor is lava, and it's not. This isn't good for it. If this was a different room, I could do it. So if this was storage, I would use this map. But because it's not. The only way the floor is lava toxic works is if I have a 2F entry on both areas, and since servers is only a 1 floor, it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But I do like this shape though, so I might actually just
save it and use it later.
Yeah. So the cool thing about level gen is I can actually use this seed. So this is 1327 whatever. So like,
and it will do the same thing again.
And I just So if I hit run again, it's gonna give me it should give me the same shape.
That's cool.
Ever since the introduction of sub rooms, it's gotten a little weird because see, same shape, regen the whole thing.
Nice.
So I'm actually going to reopen my notepad.
Okay, I had two good questions. What's the easiest map to edit for you guys? So what is the fastest tile set?
A C-store.
C-store? Yeah.
For me, I can make a C-store in 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
If everything is like if I see a level at top down and go. Okay, I see how to. I see how the flow of this level. I can do it in like 10 minutes.
Okay, so basically,
it's not common, but like 10 to 20 minutes is average for a C-store for me.
So if someone would like accidentally delete all maps and Bart would go to you like, we need lots of maps now, you could just like pump out 6 C-stores an hour.
Yeah, I could probably kick out a buttload of them if I like put my music on, really put my music on, blocked everything out, and that's the only thing I did that day. Yeah, I could kick out a ton of them.
That's cool. Are free red doors unintentional? Like always.
Free red doors. So like, for the most part, they are unintentional. There are some occasionally.
Before you answer, wait. Let me really quick explain because not everybody might be aware.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, red doors can be open from the inside with a shotgun. So that would be free if you somehow get access to shoot it from the inside. That's sometimes possible through a window, or maybe you open another door, or from fan, or you blow open. Like a peeking hole into shutters and get access like a line of sight on a red door, and then you can shoot it with a shotgun, which gives you access without a charge. Well, not if you're blowing shutters, but additional access, I guess. But in some cases, it's completely free because there's like a window next to it. So are those always unintentional?
Those are almost always unintentional.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, it's just an oversight on our part.
Yeah. I would assume so, because that would also go against the consistency we were talking about earlier, right? A red door is supposed to not be free.
I think it's cool that people find these things.
Yeah.
It's clever exploitation of game mechanics, which I think is fine.
Mm.
But it's usually unintentional. Like usually when somebody finds it, like my first reaction is, God damn it.
Yeah.
I'm just genning until I find. Ooh, this one's pretty.
That's someone asked if there will be more tile sets. Yes, there will be more tile sets. Well,
yeah,
I said that earlier.
Yes.
For tellers on C-Star maps, how often do you want the peak spot to be directly on bomb?
That's just up to the designer. I actually like it when they're facing bomb because that gives the attackers more of a reason to need to clear that room.
I guess it would be more a sandwich question because he's actually doing the C-Stars, right?
Yeah, I mean, like when I make C-Stars, I like to have the teller hole facing bomb because again, like I want. Like my personal thoughts on it is I want all of the rooms surrounding storefront to be strong and then storefront itself should be weak. So like I would actually like to see more teller holes facing bomb, if that makes sense, because this gives the attackers an incentive to get in there. Like I want to see less tellers that are wall charge only. So it's like, oh, we have to go back through the green door to get to tellers to clear that room out because there's not a lot of cover in there. So it's like if you can get to that room, you chuck one frag in there and you're gonna kill the people that are in there.
Yeah, or you flash and just kill them all.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it is that room is very weak to grenades
it's a death trap.
Because it is small.
Definitely. Yeah. Simba is asking a follow-up question to the red door question. What about like these semi-free doors, like where you get either a free fan from blowing a red door or a free red from blowing storefront, for example?
Hold on, I had two trains of thought going on and that interrupted both of them. Can you ask the question
Okay.
again? Sorry.
So it's a follow-up question to the free red door question. Like you said, those are unintentional, but what about situations where it's not completely free? For example, you blow up a red door and get a sightline on a fan, or you blow a hole into shutters and get a line of sight on a red door.
Sometimes that's intentional. I know I've done that before, especially with docks. Especially if docks, if it's so I know we recently did the change, so you can't red door enter docks. Like if you use a door charge on docks and you can like let's say there's a fan right here for the sake of argument. Yeah. Let me just draw it since I've light shot. So like, yeah, let's say I have fan right here, and you decide that you want to blow this open. Sure, like if you're like, all right, let's open this and hit this, like that is totally a thing that I want to see, because now it's like you've gotten 2 lines of sight for the price of 1, and that required you to look at the map and basically go, okay, this is a thing I think we can do. Let's go for it. Like that's fine. Because you paid your cost with this. You used your red, you used your door intelligently. Now that also means you've opened up a sightline on yourself. Like while you're trying to angle that shot to hit the fan, if there's a dude up here aiming at you, well, you took the risk.
I have a question I can answer myself, but maybe you can elaborate on it anyway. Do you guys take into account the position of the truck for possibilities to throw ordnance outside at it?
Yes. 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 Stop it. Is that you, Sfa? Go away. Mace, is that you? Go away.
No, it's not Mace.
Yes, we do keep that into account. It's not always successful, but we hand place the truck every time.
So someone mentioned earlier though that we should use machine learning solely to create an algorithm that avoids that stops Mace from doing its thing.
I mean, eventually, I think we might put a trophy system on the truck, so if ordnance goes near it, the thing just shoots it down.
Yeah,
so
that would be the easy solution. For people who are out of the loop, Mace is a long-term tester who was really good at avoiding the UAV and throwing stuff at the truck and stuff like that. He's
the one who got WAV implemented, I think.
Yeah. I wonder if that ever changes in the future, because right now it's basically impossible to go outside at all.
Yeah, I have no idea. It's not my realm.
Yeah.
I just make maps. Come on, give me a good oops all toxic map. Come on.
Mr. Green, I answered that already. Yeah, we'll do more tile sets in the future, not just Killhouse Factory and C-Store. There will be more.
Yeah. We've got one pretty far underway and another one in pre-production. I'll call it pre-production right now. I could use this one, but the windows aren't facing the right way on Office.
Amor Q says that he saw sheds before that clear sights on truck. I assume those would be were an oversight, because that's definitely not.
Yeah,
what we want.
It's usually an oversight.
Like sometimes it's hard, depending on how the doors are facing. Sometimes it's really hard to actually place the truck. The truck is always manually placed, if I remember correctly.
It depends on the map. C-Store can be, like you said, shed. Like C-Store is actually the hardest map to place shutters to place the truck on, because we can't even use the south side of the map because of shutters.
Yeah,
and then you need to have 3 doors, and it's usually one on each direction, right? North, west, and east. And where do I put the truck from there? Sometimes it can be a pretty big pain in the butt. A lot of the times, like when I do it, I'll actually move the truck out into the parking lot and then surround it with the big box trucks to cut off lines of sight. Like I'll do that kind of stuff.
So, what's your thought process on this map right now?
What
we're doing?
Okay.
We want to do all toxic, right?
Yeah, I want to do an oops all. I want to do floors lava, green door storage, red door office, fan down here. That's probably what I'm gonna do. This is gonna be an entirely 2F area where you have to go across catwalks and shit to get to office. So it'll be you'll be playing around probably two, maybe 3 lines like cover back here, but you're mostly walking on catwalks. I am thinking about putting a little parkour jump that, I want a door here and a door here, but there's catwalks that have gone over here, but I'm gonna make it look like it's fallen. So you can, maybe do the jump, but good luck. It's a shortcut. You don't have to go all the way around now, but
it's dangerous.
yeah, it's dangerous. Please be careful. If you see barbed wire, definitely don't try it.
Oh yeah, that makes jumping way harder.
Yeah. So I'm going to.
Do you think there's a good? Oh, you're doing the flow.
Yeah. Well, flow pass has stuff tied to it, like these walls.
Mm-hmm. So it's not running for 10 minutes, right?
No, so I just hit the one that's gonna do. No. The one I just hit is gonna take about a minute to do.
Oh, that's just the one that's placing the floor, like the path tiles, but not actually placing cover.
Yeah, it's not actually doing it right now. It actually does like flow related things. So like it placed the destructible walls up here, because that is like player movement. Players could potentially move through this thing, so that we put it on that pass. It also placed walls that could have had a fan on it. So like here and here. So it placed fan during that pass, because again, that has to deal with like anything that deals with player movement spawns on flow pass.
Did you decide on where the bomb is, or can we ask that chat?
I mean, we can figure it out. I was probably gonna put it right here, right? Like I'm gonna move shelving down here. Like I'm just gonna move all of those objects over here and put a fan over here. Bomb's probably gonna go right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna be right back real quick though. So I gotta go refill my water.
All right. Then you guys tell me anyway where you want bomb, even though Axsom wants it in the center. I activated click map. So in toxic, yeah, obviously. I mean, that makes sense. I should have expected that, for sure. So are the clicks misaligned, or are you actually clicking on that weird spot like below toxic? In dock, yeah, why not? I mean, that would be interesting actually. I have to ask Axsom if he ever did that. In dock would be okay. Some serious delay to this. Oh, it's generating, as you can see. Level gen at the work. I have to ask him.
So you said bomb dock. Do you mean bomb inside a truck?
Yeah,
or
in a
bomb
truck.
On the. I want to do that. I haven't done it yet.
All right, you still hear me if you go away, right? You can't just.
Yeah, I have a wireless headset, so like while I was filling up my water bottle, I could hear everything. So like, yeah, as soon as you're like, "Where's people want bomb?" and I'm like, I guarantee you, it's gonna be toxic.
But yeah,
everybody wants it in toxic. I'm like, you all are fucking predictable as hell, and I love
it. Do you consider outside frags flashed on factory?
So say that one more time?
Do you consider outside frags or flashed on factory? So I assume like.
Oh, you mean like people eating them in from the top? Yeah. Occasionally, like I do try to keep it in mind for like my green door rooms, because that's important.
Yeah.
But I mean, I have a love-hate relationship with these windows anyway.
Okay. Bomb on forklift falling into toxic.
Somebody played that map before.
It's red comments.
So I did that like a year and a half ago. Somebody remembers.
So, but going back to the thing, we could potentially put bomb in truck, right? That would be like technically
I could
that's
absolutely
possible.
put it in there, but that would
probably
be
horrible to play. But
it would be horrible to play on, because now you have a one-room bomb room or one entrance bomb room.
I mean, I guess you would have to defend like dock instead of the truck itself.
It could lead to some very interesting scenarios, right? Where like after it's done generating it is done generating. Okay, so like let's say I put, where is my bomb? Oh, it's up here now. But so let's say I put it in here. I would face it away from everyone. We put it, over
away from everyone. Ooh.
Yeah, because you want somebody in this thing.
Yeah, fair. That makes sense.
So like you do it like this. You have a kitty cornered up against the edge. The meme that I would want to see is an attack, like two attackers take dock. Like if the bomb is right here, I would not have any doors exposed. You would not be able to get into.
Yeah, that would be ridiculous.
Because that would be really ridiculous. But the thing that I would want to see would be an attacker get in here, then another attacker shuts the door, and then the lights go out. Because now the defenders, in a span of like 10 seconds, if they want to do anything, have to turn the power back on. And get in there.
Oh yeah, that's rough.
I mean that's an interesting scenario that could happen, and it would make for a cool video somewhere. But does it make for good gameplay?
I don't know. It would be an interesting experiment, though, for sure.
I mean, yeah, it's like I'm down with doing. I know I've told a lot of the people my Monday night streams. I'm down for doing dumb shit, because that's what makes memorable experiences. Like,
for sure.
When you're playing the game. Like, a lot of people remember a lot of my dumber maps that have something strange going on, like oops, the floor is lava, or mega vats. Anybody that played Giant Dream will distinctly remember that map. Or somebody already said do a bomb on forklift in a toxic pool. I did that already, and it was very memorable.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
this is
for
why I
sure.
like doing stupid shit, because you remember it.
Yeah, I mean that's good. Like I remember you saying, like it's not all about balance. Like good,
Oh
a
yeah,
good
my
map doesn't
favorite.
have to be balanced, and a balanced map doesn't have to be good.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So the phrase, my favorite phrase is, a good map isn't always balanced, and a balanced map isn't always good.
That's
Or
the
excuse me,
one.
fun.
Yeah,
Fun. So a fun
fun.
map isn't always balanced, and a balanced map isn't always fun. And we have to find something in the middle.
Yeah, because good. Like how do you find good? Yeah. So in terms of fun, yeah, it doesn't have to be necessarily super balanced, and especially most balanced maps are not super fun.
Because I mean, yeah, you look at Horizontago, like, yeah, sure,
Yeah.
that's perfectly balanced, but is it interesting?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Red Commissar puts it well. Dumb shit is great, but only in moderation.
Exactly.
Like you want those crazy things, but you don't want them to be.
Yeah,
in
you
every
don't
map.
want oops all dumb shit. So like generally when I do my Friday night streams, or excuse me, my
Yeah.
Monday night streams, the last map I make is usually my dumb map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that seems like a good ratio, right?
It's
You
just
put
like
out,
you have like four, you have like you have
nine
nine
regular factories and one dumb one.
one like what's going on here? Like yeah, you look at this thing and it's you have to think about it differently, and it's like
Yeah.
that's the kind of thing I like, and I like putting into the game is you see this map and it's like, yeah, it's a factory, but what the fuck?
Here's a double question from comms. Can we get another office bomb, and can we see green dog trucks?
No green dock trucks right now, because I'm not comfortable doing that without the riot shield in, because the riot shield is
Fair.
the solution to green truck.
Yeah.
I do have green entrances for docks now, though.
Yeah.
So
I saw that before.
Yeah, if I actually pull it up, is this one? Yeah, it's this one. So like, I do have a green door for it, though. It's the double wide doors, and everybody's gonna hate it, but they do exist. So I can green door my way into a factory now. Did I run post room? Yeah, I did. So I'm just casually moving all of this over here.
Like looking at you at work, what I just realized is that basically we allow, like, our level generation system is at a point where you can solely focus on, or almost solely focus on the actual level design part. Like how should the level be played, and that's all. Like, that's obviously something you have like trained a lot over the last few months, years.
I mean, I've been doing this for like almost 3 years at this point.
This is your life now.
This is just what it's just what I do at this point. People ask what I do, and I say I make levels.
Yeah, so you know what a good level entails and whatnot.
I'm not going to say that, because people you'll immediately have Red Commissar and a bunch of other people go, but
yeah, but you have a good
I
feeling.
I know it has the potential to make them interesting, or what people will find will be like, this was a memorable level. Like, I have a pretty good feel for what that is. Is it balanced?
And you know a lot of things you should avoid.
Oh, of course. Like, I know not to do one room bomb rooms. Like, like we've learned a lot of lessons since since I came on and started doing levels. Like, we've learned a lot about like wrangling sightlines. Like, any of the old testers will remember my endless crusade against pixel peaks on old factory, stuff like that.
Yeah. How often do you take in hat peak potential with prop placement? Example, the conveyor send control panels that hide majority of body from a door push.
Yeah, we think about that. Like, whenever you all bring it up, we tend to address it. We have these conversations when we talk about doing over-unders. So like, if I let me just do one real quick. Just to bring up an example.
Red Commissar's complaining that you're picturing him more rude than he actually is.
You're the first name that popped into my head. Sorry, you're not actually that rude. There are some people that give me a lot of shit, and that's fine. Like, I mean, how else am I going to learn if people aren't criticizing me, right?
For
like,
sure.
I like being told, like, hey, this was weird. Why did you do that? Because it's like, well, then I explain myself. They go, that's dumb, or oh, that's really cool, and that's how I learn, right? Like, I don't mind being told like, hey, this was kind of bad, then here's why, because I can take that into consideration the next
I mean,
time.
that's the feedback you want to
that's
have,
the feedback
right?
loop, right? Like, this is what I think is great about due process, is I can experiment and do dumb shit and people tell me if they liked it or not, and if they liked it, I do more of it, and if they don't like it, I do less of it. Like, like, it's great.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's actually a pretty, like, we're in a unique position because, like, your role at the company and also Sandwich does not really exist in other game studios. Like, they have level designers, obviously, but they're usually, like, they do a different kind of work than what we do here because, like, they design, like, a handful of levels, maybe a few.
Flavors.
Yeah, but on a different scale, right? Because you're doing, like, you're doing, like, 10 factories a week. Like, and Sando's also doing 10 maps a week. So that's a different, like, that's, so you're completely focusing on this level design aspect and pumping out a lot of it and doing a lot of it and do way more than other companies, like level designers and other companies would do. So that's exactly what you just mentioned. You can, like, get this feedback loop, right? You can experiment stuff and see the feedback immediately, while in a game that doesn't have a system like this, you have, like, you're gonna be stuck with those maps forever.
I mean, potentially, like, I mean, let's not like shit on, like, anybody else's, like, how their process works, right? Like, you're gonna see iterations over time in any game, like, that's dedicated
for sure,
right? Like, you're gonna see remakes of maps, you know, based on player feedback. Like, that always happens with us. You're seeing, like, the results of that feedback in, like, 1 or 2 weeks instead of, like, 6 months to a year, right?
Yeah.
Like, somebody goes, hey, this was really bad, don't do that again, or, like, especially with, like, a lot of the feedback that I take into a lot of consideration is regarding vault, because vault doors have a pretty big impact. Like, when you open them, they can cut off entire lanes. Like, that's actually feedback I'm super interested in.
Yeah.
Because it's like, what is too much? Like, is cutting off half a map interesting?
Or not?
Is it too much? Like, is it interesting? Yes. Is it understandable for players who are experiencing this for the first time? Is it frustrating? Like, is this a good idea or not? That's the type of thing I'm interested in.
Yeah, but basically what you just said is what I intended to say. Maybe I did not phrase it properly, but I mean, obviously other games have, like, this feedback loop, but it usually takes months or years, or, like, the next title or whatever, to actually come back, and our cycles are just, like, really short. So,
yeah, we try to keep that loop short. So, like, I mean, there's been times where people in level feedback in Discord will be like, hey, it'd be cool if this happened, and then literally the next week I do it.
I mean, it's more likely you do it immediately than, like, a few weeks later, because you probably forgot about it.
I mean, I don't always do it immediately, but yeah, it's usually, like, the next week. Like, a lot of the times I'll copy paste the thing that they said into a note for myself, so I just do it later.
Okay, that makes sense.
Trying to figure out where I want fan again. Probably
Should we
right
ask
here,
chat?
right here. It's probably gonna be right here. Oh, I need to remember to turn this. This is not a green door. Red commissar.
Why is everything on the maps on set 90-degree angles? That's a good question, actually.
Because level gen works easier with squares than it does circles or triangles.
That's a good way to put it, I'd say.
Yeah, like, remember when like, if you look at the shapes of the floors, they're all squares. Like, everything works better on, you know, 90 and 180-degree angles. You'll notice that a lot of the levels don't have curved objects in it, and
could be all hexagons.
Yeah, or like, we could have done hexagons. It's just we chose square.
It would be really weird to have a build, like, you have to consider, like, there are walls on the outside of the building.
Yeah.
If it would be all hexagons, those walls would not be straight.
Yeah, then
it would be really weird.
Well, it'd be like one side would be straight, like north side would be straight, then everything else is like jagged.
Oh right, yeah, north and south would be straight, but the others not. Yeah. I mean, I guess it would not be too bad. You can actually create somewhat straight lines with hexagons, but it would just be.
Yeah, it would
we
be like
would never have an east or west side that would be straight, so that would be a little strange. Excited want some 45-degree angles. I mean, I guess that's.
I mean, possible. I do that occasionally. There's times where I'll rotate objects to be like, let's rotate it like this. So I do it a lot in Kill House and C Store. Excuse me. Yeah, I do it mostly in those 2 tile sets. In factory, like, yeah, I'll do it occasionally. Sometimes I'll do it inside office. A lot of the times, like, the thing that I rotate the most is bomb. It's like, that's kind of important.
So how would it be for you? It would be easy for you to rotate these shelving units, right?
Oh yeah, like
you could just.
I mean,
rotate
you
them.
saw me. Yeah, you saw me do it earlier.
Yeah, you did it earlier, right? Let's take them and rotate them
I
around.
can just rotate them both, and now I've got them like that.
You could rotate them
undo
like
it and rotate
45
them
degree,
like that,
for example.
Yeah, I could do it like that.
Straight. So yeah, could be interesting.
They could be interesting. Like, I know there's a prop that has things rotated at odd angles. That usually, like, I know you'll recognize it when you see it.
Stellaric found a good solution to that. Rotate the whole finished map 45 degrees.
So
when you're done, just rotate everything.
Fun statement about that. In alpha, there's this one time where I took a map. It was a completely done map. It was a kill house. I copy pasted the map into a different file, so different level. I deleted that gen and then pasted the other level in it and rotated the entire level 180 degrees and then didn't change a thing about it and put it into the game. And nobody noticed.
Did it not have
same
docks?
Map.
Like, was that not established at that point that docks are always off?
No, this was in a kill house.
Oh, it was a kill house. Oh yeah,
it was
I guess
a kill
we don't
house
have a
I did
rule
it
like
in,
that.
and nobody said anything. Nobody noticed. Nobody said anything, and I got different feedback for both levels, and it was weird, but it was a fun experiment.
I mean, it kind of. I mean, it's
So
a
another
good
fun
side,
thing,
though.
Another fun thing is there are 2 factory maps in rotation. There are 2 different levels made off of the same seed.
So they're using the same
They're
basic
using
shape.
the same level shape, but the flow through them is different enough.
Because you
that it
place
is a
doors
separate
different and
level.
stuff.
Because the doors are placed differently. The location of cover is different. The red doors and green doors are in different spots. Like, it is the same shape but 2 different levels.
Interesting.
But yeah, just rotate the level 90 degrees. I've done that. Don't worry about it.
No, he was suggesting 45 degrees, so we get everything.
45
like,
degrees just to like really mess with people.
Yeah.
Like, what is this? I don't think it would work on C-Store because the C-Store mid-ground is so thin.
Oh yeah.
Could work on a kill house.
As an explanation, the mid-ground is the scene we set up.
Oh yeah.
Like,
so
right now the
let me
mid-ground
actually
is
do that.
missing, so you don't see the
Here
like
we go.
the
Can you
ground
do a
and stuff.
poll? Do we want this level named Warrior Banner or Banner Warrior?
Oh yeah, you can swap that around, right? You cannot change the name.
Yeah, I can't change the name, but I can change the order. What do we want that to be named?
Let's say I'm just gonna activate click map and banner warriors on the left and warrior banners on the right.
Yeah, something like that.
Just
And then I'll.
banner warrior left, warrior banner right. Just click wherever you want. Chat is there was a typing banner warriors winning by some types right now. Okay, now that clicks are coming in. Yeah, I think banner warrior is the one.
Banner Warrior?
go
Alright,
with.
we'll stick with Banner Warrior. That's I'm fine with that. Alright, let's save this.
All right.
Come on, Banner Warrior.
Delta Alpha asks, why do you have that naming convention? I assume he's talking about like the 2 name thing.
Oh, being able to flip it?
No, I think general like why are our map names?
Why
like
are they
2
randomly
words?
generated? Like,
Yeah, and why are they
still
2
wanted
words?
people
Like,
to be able to like recognize the name of a level. Like when we were getting feedback, it's hard to just be like, yeah, that one factory map where the dock is in the south. Okay, which one?
And assume it's like just 2 words because that's fairly easy to.
Yeah, it's fairly easy
do.
to remember, and you think of like a lot of like
remember,
actual like real world operation names, like it tends to be worded kind of like that.
Mhm.
Like Operation, Desert Storm, Rising Fury. Sometimes you get some oddballs like Fast and Furious, stuff like that. Like there's operation names tend to work in that fashion anyway, so we just replicated it.
There's mid ground now, by the way.
Oh yeah, here's the mid ground. So that's what I was trying to get the name for. So like, let me just move the level.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, exactly. You can move the level in the mid ground. There are some limitations to that. If I remember correctly, you have some space issues on C-Store sometimes.
The C-Store sometimes. But yeah, so this is the mid ground. So like all of this stuff right here, this is what level gen will actually load into the game. So it loads this whole scene in. It'll load this, and then it loads the background scene, so which I can actually drop in to kind of give you a demonstration of like how it works.
So Delta Alpha is asking again about the naming. Yeah, we explained that earlier. Basically, we have a huge list of, 2 lists of words, and the names are picked from that, basically.
There we go. So
keep it short.
It's got the fucking UI in it too.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, so like it will it drops the level into this mid-ground scene, and then it loads the background scene around it.
Backdrop, yeah. So yeah, it's basically 3 parts, right? It's the level, the mid-ground, and the backdrop.
Mid-ground. Yep, level, mid-ground, background.
Okay. And I remember, like, if I remember correctly, like there are multiple different background scenes.
There's one background scene per level, but there are multiple mid-grounds. So there are.
Oh, that
you
way.
can get different mid-grounds.
Right, backgrounds.
So like, I think C-Store has like 4, Factory has 3, and then. But I mean, most people don't notice. Like, all of this tends to feel different enough where people haven't said anything since like we've been in alpha for we're in alpha for like 2 years.
I mean, you don't really look at it during.
Nobody said anything.
It doesn't
yeah,
really...
there are different ones that have different things in the background. When we move the level around, there's buttons I can press that will, like, let's say I wanted to put the level here. It's intersecting with a bunch of trucks over here. I actually have a button I can press that will delete all of them. So like I can like, all of that's automated. So it's like, oh, just clear, and if you're touching anything in the midground, just delete it. So like we have those things, but sometimes things slip through. But this is the kind of thing Ozzy will catch, where it's like, hey, why is this trailer in here? There's a notorious bag of trash on one of these factory midgrounds that is not marked for deletion, so you'll occasionally just get this like rando bag of trash in the level. It doesn't do anything; it's just there.
That's funny. Armor RQ asks, or Armor Q, I guess. Will we ever see a power switch detached from the building so that attackers can get a light's advantage in exchange for a wall charge? So basically a little room that's completely separate from the building, but it's only accessible with the wall charge, and it's a power switch inside?
Technically this already exists, that shed on C-Store, and we've done that before, so there have been times where we've put power in shed, and have not had a green door into shed, so you have to wall charge through the fence to get to the power. I've done that before.
Did it work well?
Trying to remember feedback. I might actually be in rotation right now. I'd have to go look. But it's okay. Like, I don't think it's not an all the time thing. I think it makes an interesting, like, oh, what's going on here kind of scenario. But it's not something I would do all the time. It's
it's one of those oddballs.
Once in a great while kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like, as soon as you start getting them all the time, that's when you start getting the feedback of, hey, this is like getting annoying, this is frustrating. That's why, like, I like the idea of there being like sometimes things, not all the time things. It's like one of the big things of feedback we got was like courtyard for Kill House with all those windows. Like, I think this room is better played as a sometimes room, not an all the time room.
That makes sense. I have an odd question. I'm not sure if you can answer. What is your explanation that there is one small store with a big parking lot in the middle of all these tall and packed buildings?
Don't worry about it. I'm not the keeper of lore. You'd have to ask whoever is the keeper of lore. But yes, I do find it. That does make me raise an eyebrow too. I'm like, wait a minute, why isn't this been like eminent domained?
Yeah. I mean, there are a few things that are a little weird in this world, for sure. So yeah, people continue asking about level names. We're not, like, rewatch the stream. We talked about it twice already.
But I mean, it's fine. There's again.
No, I understand that people are interested about it. It's just like we kind of it makes for a weird stream if we repeat everything.
Yeah,
so
there's a list of verbs and a list of nouns, and it picks 2. That's it.
Yeah, basically.
Well, not verbs, descriptors, and it then just picks 2. So like in this one, we got 2 nouns again: warrior and banner.
Someone asks, do you plan to add in-game review window for players to rate maps and maybe report bugs? I think we've talked about this.
We've talked about that before. I think it would be useful, but I don't know how we would implement it. We have talked about it before, though.
Yeah. It would be, I think we would, if we would do it, we would go for like a very simple one, like thumbs up, thumbs down. And then we would have to...
I mean, it is hard, so let's consider that for a moment. If... my fear of putting it into the level itself is that people will just downvote if they lose and upvote if they win.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, we would have to balance, like, we have to analyze the data based on how the players did during that round.
Yeah, like, it's a thing that we would have to keep in mind, because, like, right now it's good for just having the level feedback in Discord, because people can go there and, you know, give their gripes or give the, hey, I really like this thing, because they're out of the game. They've had this experience. It was memorable enough to make a comment on, versus, oh, I lost downvote. And it's like, I mean, that's fine too. Like, that's, we still have to consider that, but at the end of the day, it's like I would prefer getting the actual feedback, like getting somebody typing out for me, hey, I like this because I thought it was cool, or I had to deal with this sightline. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of feedback that I like versus just thumbs up, thumbs down. Because like thumbs up, thumbs down can be really vague. It's just like,
Yeah,
okay, cool, you
that's
like
true.
this map. What about this map did you like? And that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that makes sense. Derby asks, can you talk about making prop groups and how Level Gen knows where to put them?
That's the node things. So like if I look back, let's so that's these node groups that I mentioned before. So like you can see this guy.
So first we should maybe explain, like we have prop groups, like where multiple props are basically
so
clutched
drag
together.
This guy out.
Yeah.
So this guy's so prop group. We kind of came up with the word of calling these clusters. So this is a pre-made kind of cover object that consists of many different objects. So it's got the desks, the
whatever that is.
Yeah, my brain is having just a grand old time trying to remember the word soda machine. There we go.
Soda machine. Right.
It just has all of these different objects in it, and Level Gen, it doesn't care what's inside, like what the props are. So like if I open up this object, I can turn off the prefabs, and Level Gen does not care what those objects are. All it cares about are these little nodes. That's all Level Gen cares about. So what's going to do is when it's in the placement process, is it will go, okay, I spawn inside of office. I'm looking for floor nodes, and these little black nodes are like anti-nodes. So this basically tells Level Gen, don't place this against a wall, or like make sure this isn't intersecting with another node. So all it's going to do is it's going to look at office and go, I would like to place here. And then it'll look at all of the nodes and go, okay, the floor node, okay, all of these floor nodes look good. Then it'll check the wall nodes and it'll go, okay, wall node, okay, I'm good. Am I touching any of these negative nodes? No. And then it will go, this is a valid position, and then it will place it.
Well, right now it would block power this way, but...
Oh, yeah. But so let's say a different scenario happens, and Level Gen goes, I would like to place it here. And like it's like, well, some of these are connecting, but these ones out here are floating, so I can't do that. And then it will go, okay, I can't place this here. If I back it up again, like it would try to place here, and this would be a valid position because again, everything's connected. The anti-nodes are not touching anything. We're fine.
And if I remember correctly, the thing you have on the right on your screen is basically a big hierarchy, and it just like every room and sub room and stuff tries to spawn little elements, right?
Yep. So like in this case, this is like the cargo office.
It has different probabilities.
Yeah, it has
to do
different
things.
objects assigned to it. So it like office cannot spawn things that would say spawn in toxic and vice versa. Like we can curate going, okay, only spawn these particular clusters versus spawning literally. If we told it to spawn literally everything, it would
be a mess.
It would take hours. Yeah, it would be bad. But like it's pretty easy to make these little group clusters. Well, it's tedious to make them. It is easy, but it is tedious because there's a lot of steps that we have to go through. Like we have to make sure that each and every one of these nodes lines up with the floor precisely, because if it doesn't, Level Gen will go, that's not a valid placement. I can't, like, I have to connect all of these things in order to place. One of these is off by like 0.05 units, and I can't place now. So like there's a lot of very specific checkboxes we have to go through. There's also other elements to it that can be a factor. So like if we look at this guy, he has what's known as a custom bounding box. So custom bounding box actually informs other objects if it's clipping it or not. So like in this case, the box is big because I want people to be able to go left and right. But if there was an object here that had a custom bounding box that clipped into it, it would go, hey, you can't do that. Like this is my area, you can't touch me. Like we have multiple ways to determine if an object can go in a space or not.
I see.
So like some objects we're fine with, objects clipping into one another. So like the walls are a good example of that. Like I think they have a custom bounding box inside here, and it's okay if it touches the custom bounding box of the big office room because they're designed to go together, but other objects are not designed to go together. So it's figuring out how do all of these relate.
Okay.
Is Level Gen as the quote unquote the problem.
And those are all things you can manipulate and evolve and improve and advance. And that's what we were talking about earlier. Like you're constantly working on Level Gen to make it better. to make it easier to create maps, basically. And,
Yep. Oh god. Oh god.
What did you do?
Where did he go? He's over here.
Oh no.
That one had a weird pivot, so like when I replaced him, it just took like this thing just took off.
Mm-hmm. Will there ever be interactable props like a table you can kick over, or maybe a support you can kick to make a bridge? I think that would be pretty cool.
I would be more interested in the bridge. We have to be careful about interactable objects because these things need to be readable from the map view, and you need to be able to understand what they do from the map view.
Absolutely.
Because if you're making this plan, like let's say we have that bridge, right? So let's say you're making this big, huge plan, and you didn't know that this bridge, like so. Let's say we had a button over here that you could press, or you could kick this door down, and it would bridge onto a floating catwalk. You're making this plan, and you didn't know that somebody could be here, and they're standing on this new bridge that they made, and they just shoot you out of a sightline that you weren't expecting. Like that can be frustrating. So like it's how do we make these things understandable within 2 minutes so that you can go, if this thing is down or if they've kicked this over, we can make this plan. Because if you don't know or it's not immediately obvious, it's going to be frustrating when you get in there and things have changed. This is why movable cover isn't a thing.
Yeah,
because we tried that once, and
I was about to mention, like, if you go to the website and dig out the really old blog posts, there's one about movable cover because that was tried and it was not good. I think the two main issues were one, it was mostly used to block doorways.
Yeah, like I played in those tests. Like I remember playing those, and all we did was we would just pick up. It wasn't even heavy stuff because it was like weight based, so like bigger objects took more people to use. We would just take chairs and like all of the small stuff and just chuck it up against all of the exterior green doors and red doors, and attackers couldn't even get in the building. That's all that happened.
And
it
the
was
other
the superior way to play.
Yeah, and the other issue was that it's removing predictability, so it makes it very hard for the attackers to figure out what the defenders could do. Or would do, and without.
Well, I mean, you knew what they were going to do. It was, well, how the fuck did we get in here?
In that case, yeah. But in general, like if the level is too, like if defenders have too many options, then they become unpredictable, and at that point, planning falls apart for the attackers. The other way is the same, and interactable things would be cool, but you have to be careful because of those reasons. Like it has to be readable from the map, which can be done, but it has to be considered, and it also has to be. It must not create too many options, or else it destroys predictability, which is not what we want.
Kind of important.
But there definitely could be, like, we're always looking for more, like, making maps more interactable. Like that's the whole thing we're doing with the vault and stuff. Objects. Like, yeah. So interactability is cool because it creates more. I think for like my personal take on this is it creates more high level planning opportunities. Like you can more cool plans if there's actually things to do instead of just like go in here.
It makes the level you're playing in feel more like a character, I guess you could say. Like you're interacting with the level and the level's interacting back with you. Like you're not just like running around shooting people. Like you can use this particular level to your advantage. You can bend the environment to do something for you that will help you, and that's really cool. Like I really want to see like pipes and stuff on the walls that you can shoot, and like smoke, like a predictable smoke screen comes out. Like that's the type of shit that I would like to see.
That would be cool for sure. Yeah.
But like in interactable, like I love the idea of levels being more interactable. It's just like that's all stuff we have to code. That's all stuff we have to assemble. Like that's
absolutely.
Interactable objects are fun, but you have to net sync it, and it can be all kinds of painful. So it takes time.
Yeah. We're coming back to the if we would have infinite money topic.
It's not even that. It's just like if we had the resource. Yes, if we had the resources.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need infinite money for it, but we need the resources.
Fuck that silent.
Oh yeah, you're checking sidelines now. That's obviously an important part.
Well, I want to put a red door over here. I remember how somebody asked, do you consider like red doors that look on the, like that's not a sight line that I want, because I want to put a red door back here and I don't want it looking at fan.
Okay. I mean,
I don't want you to be able to open that up and immediately shoot it open. I want you to have to like jump down and go do the shot.
I guess you could go to the other part of the office, or is there no sight line there either?
I just wanted to close it off.
Okay, so you don't want fan to be opened from office, basically.
Yeah, like if you're up here defending, like you're gonna have to wait until attackers get up here or over here if you're covering from office.
Yeah, and then if you're attacking, you cannot
Yeah,
shoot.
if you wanted to shoot, if you wanted to cover it as a defender, you could be down here.
Yeah, that makes sense. So okay, that's actually an interesting point, because now you're creating choices, right? It's like meaningful choices.
Exactly.
You can either be in office and cover this part, or you can be down there and cover the fence. And now you have choices. If office can just cover both, then why would you ever be down there?
You just always be in office.
Yeah, right. Yeah, so that's one of those things that obviously over time you learn to be like, this is your
you're a little
natural,
more cognizant of those kinds of decisions, because it's like, if like I need to make options available, otherwise the level becomes too predictable and it's boring. But at the same time, it's like I need to try to have meaningful decisions, like while you're being like, I want to defend this area and here's what I can see. Oh, go healthy.
So Revenant is really into opening red doors from the inside. So he asks, how many rooms do you desire attackers to take before they can open a red door from a distance? Is there like a rule?
No, I mean, as long as, so my opinion of that is like at least one.
Okay.
Like you should be like, if I had a red door here, I want you to take storage before you can get to there, like at range, right? Like the whole point of red doors being openable from the inside is like, you let your friends in, like that's cool, right? But I want you to be in the building doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Should not be like in free access. Yeah. So yeah, taking one extra room seems reasonable.
Yeah, it's like, as long as you're like in the room next to it and you're not like shooting it from across the map and like one shotgun pellet is opening the door, like I think one room is reasonable. Two is like, I'm squinting my eyes at you, but okay, cool, fine, you landed the shot. Any more than that, and I'm just like, get out. But that's, I mean, that's my opinion. Like, I don't know if there's an actual value to this. To me, it feels right when it's like one room, because at that point you could have run over there and kicked it open, but you brought a shotgun and took advantage of it.
I read that question differently. Maybe, like, I think I understand the question, like, how many rooms you have to, like, how deep do you have to be in the building before you get access to a red door from the inside, basically?
Oh, like,
I think still one door, right?
So me personally, like when I'm designing, so like, again, I'm gonna keep answering this in different ways till we get the answer that you need. So like,
I mean, both answers are interesting. It's just like, one of the questions was asked, but the other's interesting still.
Yeah, if a green door is here, if I'm gonna put a red door, like I want it to be meaningful enough that you're not just gonna go, well, why would I ever take this? So like, if I put the green door on docks, like, why would you ever take this? Because you can just walk through the red door and shoot it, right? Like, if I put a red door right next to, if I did, full level gen chaos and did that, why would you ever take this? So like, at the same time, if I put an interior fan right here, like, why would you ever wall charge? Why would you ever door charge that when you can just shoot this and open it? Like, at the same time, like, if I put a red door here, yeah, sure, I could, on the second story, if I put a red door here, it's that, to me, that feels a little too close to green and doesn't give enough of a reason to like, well, you could just take this and go up the staircase. Especially if I put the red door here, because it's like, well, this is just one room away. It doesn't feel like it's getting me as much as it could. It doesn't feel like an interesting choice. Versus it's like this one, it's like, oh, this gets me office. I'll actually
oh, we're back. Okay. I'm not sure how long we were down. Well, we were down for a bit, so we should be back, hopefully. I'm gonna double check. At least
for answering Revenant's question, it's usually about a room and a half, 2 rooms between entrances is what I like to do. Sando does things differently, and that's fine. Like, we both have our own, like, this feels right, because a lot of it's based on feel. There's no like hard number for us.
I mean, also additionally, it's also I mean, you're mostly working on factories, and Sando's mostly working on C-Store and Kill House, so like, obviously there are different rules to be applied.
Well, it's like, it's a different play space too. Like, one room in factory, like you have 4 rooms here, but this is way bigger than any of the other things. So like, power and bomb could technically exist in this same open area. If bomb was down here and power was up here, you could totally do that.
Okay, stream is back and Revenant got its answer. Good.
It's usually about one, like, even one room sounds weird. It's far enough away to feel like a meaningful choice.
That makes sense. So, okay. Do we have all the floors lava already?
That's what I'm doing right now.
Okay, so this is not the whole factory is lava, but this
Yeah,
one-
we're not doing the whole factories. I probably won't do that again unless it's in like it'll be a couple months before you see that again. You gotta let the current one rotate out before you do another one.
That absolutely makes sense. Like imagine playing a ranked match and both factories being all toxic.
Yeah.
Oh. Will we ever see use of dock doors to separate rooms? I mean,
So you mean like this? So like
I think he is talking about the prop,
like this door, like this door being interactable. We've actually talked about that. The only issue that I have with it is that if you turn off, so let's say, so you have to be very careful about this, right? So let's say this is your green room and this is a dock door, right? Well, dock doors don't work when the power's off. So if you know that all of the attackers have used all of their charges and they must go through green door, you could shut this and turn power off as defenders, and you don't have to do anything, and you've won.
Yeah.
That's something we have to keep in mind when doing decisions like that.
And similar for that's an issue that can come up easily with Vault, right?
With what? With Vault?
Vault on
so it's like you can totally mess with the attackers and be like, no, sorry, right now you don't get to do that.
Yeah.
Like I turned the power off and it's going to cost you another 30 seconds to go turn it back on, which is probably enough to keep to make the bomb blow up. Like,
yeah, or even impossible. Like if you have power on the wrong side, like you could open the
Like,
vault, block the doorway, and then just
let's say
turn off
attackers are on the button and they're about to hit it, and a clever defender turns the power off, and the power is on the other side of the map. Well, now the attackers have to go all the way over there, find this dude, kill him,
if they
turn
even
the
can
power
get
back on,
there.
go all the way back. But there is no power on Kill House, so it makes these things not that big of a deal.
That's true, I guess. But like, I mean, it depends on the button placement on
yeah, you're
all
just
maps.
fighting button placement at that point. So like,
you could have
imagine,
like what I was trying, well, the situation I was imagining, because actually someone mocked up a map a few days ago where that was an issue, like where you have like there's basically only one pathway from the green door to the button, and it's actually blocked by the vault door. So you could open the vault and the attackers cannot actually
yeah, so you have
get
to
there.
remember, like when you're mocking up maps, there are certain rules that we follow.
Yeah.
So green entrances always split in two directions.
True.
Always. Like there's never a map where a green door, so like this room, will never only go here. It will always have two different choices. So you'll be able to get to another side of the level. So like when you're mocking up a map with like a green door that goes through one direction, that doesn't actually happen.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like this is one of those things that we learned a long time ago, is you must give the player a choice through the green door because it's their only option. They must, after they take the green room, they have a choice. Otherwise, it becomes a giant death funnel and it sucks.
Yeah, there's currently a kill house in rotation where the green entry is an analog.
That's a make a map one.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. I played that recently, and the attackers did not, like, I was on defense, and the attackers did not have any charges left, and it was a massacre.
Yeah, remember, it sucks. It's a long death hallway.
It sucks hard.
Very difficult. It is it is one of the few hard rules that we actually follow and enforce. Is you must have a split path on a green room.
That makes sense. People asking, are all maps set in New York, or is it only Kill House? I think they're all set in Alpha City, right?
I think everything's set in Alpha City right now.
Yeah, and Alpha City was New York a while ago.
I don't know the lore behind it.
Yeah, something along those lines. It's all placed in the same city, regardless.
Yeah, oops, all Alpha City.
What's in New York? I only know Alpha City. Yeah, that's
pretty much.
That's the one.
I mean, at least we didn't do something dumb like call it Neo New York or something like that.
Neo New York? Oh god, yeah. Would have been an option.
I gotta have two news in there. Neo New York.
Oh yeah, that's good as well.
It's like it got destroyed once before, they remade it, got destroyed again, and they're just like, fuck it.
Just call it York.
It's just York now. We rolled back. This is the like the remake that's happened after a while. And we just go back to the original.
Yeah. It's like with all these video game titles, right? Where they just remove the numbers at some point, like Battlefield 1 all of a sudden, and what were the others? Like Tomb Raider. When Tomb Raider came out, I was like, why do you do this? Like,
it's just Tomb Raider now. We've like this is the overflow era, and we've gone back around.
Yeah, it's like when they're up to like Tomb Raider 7 or something, and then they just go back to Tomb Raider. I was like so mad about it. I get why they do it. Like it makes sense.
This would be like
marketing-wise,
Nvidia
but
instead of doing like the 380, just calling it like the GTX and just stopping. Like no number.
Would you ever have community-made maps? Well, we already have.
We already do. I've done several. So during alpha, I think I did 4 Make a maps, and I gave. I want to say it was like 20 maps total were community made by the end of alpha. Like that, I just gave people those opportunity. Red Karmasar was one of them. He made a pretty interesting factory map.
Yeah, we plan to do more.
I think
It's
Derby
one of
was
the
one. I
perks
think
for.
Cat did one too.
Yeah, it could be. I did one. I remember that.
Yeah, I know you did
I
one.
I wasn't on the team yet at that point. I was still just an alpha
You're still
tester.
just a babby.
Just a plap. No, not a plap. Not calling all of you plaps. What was I saying? So yeah, it's one of the perks for the partner community creators is that we're gonna make a map with them occasionally. But we also have plans to make it accessible to just regular players. Probably in form of a competition or something like that, or like a raffle where you can win an entry into make a map or something like that. It's going to be something in the future. We realize that people really want to do that, and we understand why, so we're going to try to make it possible. How it works is usually Axsom or Sandwich create like the foundation of the map with the level generation thingy, and then give that to you, and you use Paint or whatever you want to use as your drawing tool and just draw everything in, and then they make it happen.
Yeah, there's still rules that you have to follow. So like, I'll give you a blank top down, and then I go, hey, okay, so you need to have 2 green. You need to have 1 green door, 2 red doors. Your green room has to split, and then everything else is forget. Like, there's some rules that need to be put in place.
Yeah.
But then after that, it's like, okay, where do you want, like, how do you want your office windows? Like, how do you want your, where do you want your shelving units? Like, yada yada. Factory's probably the hardest one to do. Kill House, I think, is the most interesting because it's so chaotic.
Yeah. Yeah, Kill House is the one with the least consistency, I'd say. It's also, that's actually a question I want to ask. So do you use Kill House like as a testing ground for new ideas and stuff, or is
absolutely yes.
That's how this works, right?
It is because the testing ground.
We saw so many different things on Kill House already. It's the ever
Kill
evolving
House
tile
is
set.
the testing, the proving ground for new ideas. So like Vault Door was one of the big ones.
So
and you can see like with like the maps that have airlock, we're still experimenting with, well, what can we do with this object that opens and closes and cuts off movement and stuff. Like,
and then
what can we do and get away with?
ideas-
It's fun.
And then those ideas eventually might make it into a different tile set.
Yeah,
or something
exactly.
Like
Those ideas might migrate into a tile set later on down the line.
that. Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay, time to do the
This
thing.
room looks fun. Oh, oh no.
I'm going off grid.
Uh-oh. Can you make it so that it's one way?
One way.
Like it can only go like if you. No. Oh, I guess that works. Yeah.
I just need to figure out what is an acceptable. Like I want this to be like, okay, it looks like you can make that, because like right now you could jump from here to here to here, but that's a little too obtuse.
What I was thinking was like you can only pass it from one side, not the other.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
I think we have that on Kill House on a few different Kill House maps, right? Where there's like a brick wall in the hallway where you can only pass
the
it
pass
over from
through.
one side. Yeah.
I mean, technically, like offices are like that right now on a lot of the times, because it's like, well, you can go in one way and then you jump out via the window.
Yeah.
It's like this factory is that. Like you can go in here, like this is your exit. You have 2 exits here and not going back up.
Yeah, true. Can you give me a good look on the map real quick? I want to get like an overview where we're at. So we have we'll have green axis on north, I guess.
Yeah, and it'll be here, and then my red door is already set. I might move this red door. Like,
dock's not accessible, right? So dock's
no, I'll open one of those up.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we'll have dock and fan and the office door, basically everything kind of south. Power and toxic, pump and storefront.
Power up here, and then I might put a conveyor belt like right here. It's either right here or right here in front of office. I haven't decided yet. Yeah, because office is already done being organized. Toxic is almost done. This is one of those things where I leave a note for Ozzy and go, make sure you can make this jump.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to put support beams in. Fuck. It looks cooler with the support beams. Nope. Steal it from another object.
So Armor is asking about fire extinguishers, if they will be mounted to walls and stuff. We had that in the past, so yeah.
We had that in the past. They were
again.
removed.
Was actually quite
work.
Was a pretty fun element actually, because you could like plan around them, or you could put them
problem,
off and put them
the problem with giving them in every level is you can just put them on in front of every fire door, and you will always have, when that explosion goes off, it'll rupture the fire extinguisher, and there is now always a smoke screen for every single entrance that the defenders can take advantage of. That's what happened.
Yeah, that's true.
Once people figured out that that was a thing they could do, and it was the default strategy, is you just run around, find the fire extinguisher, then throw it in front of the fire door. Done.
Yeah. The one thing I want to see eventually is like fire extinguishers, but as a tool for the attackers, and they actually put out fires to counter Molotovs. I think that would be cool. I'm not sure if it makes sense game design wise. I just realized like one day that we have fire extinguishers, or used to have fire extinguishers, but they don't actually extinguish fire. So why not have those? That would be cool.
Yeah.
Sprinkler system, yeah, that would be a thing as well.
We've actually talked about that.
Oh, okay. And would that work?
I don't know. I'm not the one designing it.
Okay. Fair enough.
I've heard that word thrown around though, so.
Fair enough. So this is just like some cosmetics now, right? This is not
it's just cosmetic, just so it doesn't look super weird.
Yeah. So would level gen at a point where it could spawn a catwalk like this?
Oh, absolutely. I've done it before.
Okay, but you wanted it to be very specific for this level because you had something in mind.
Well, it's more like the system that could have spawned the catwalk I removed a long time ago since we weren't using it, but now it's like, man, I wish I'm like sitting here gritting my teeth going, man, I wish I had that right now.
So you could, like, you will bring it back eventually, but it's not.
I mean, maybe it depends on if this kind of gameplay is interesting. If this makes Toxic interesting, like this is what I'm talking about with like it's like a wait and see approach. Like
could be useful for other tile sets, maybe.
Is this more interesting than Toxic with a floor? Right? Is all Toxic floor more interesting than half and half, which is what it is right now? And if the answer is yes, then I would take the time to build out a catwalk system. So I would like spawn two things in, highlight them both, and then hit a button, and it just goes boop and connects everything. Because that's something I've done before.
Yeah. For sure. So, yeah, Bickle is in the chat right now, Lieutenant Commander. So he's answering some questions. So feel free to shoot some questions at him as well.
Bickle is awesome. I mentioned him earlier. He's our tech artist. Wonderful man.
He's doing a lot of, from what I understand, he's doing a lot of the behind the scene level gen stuff, right? Like, he's your point of contact.
I mean, he's the one who's actually assembling all of like the interactable objects. So like the doors, the shutters, the fans, like all of that stuff, how it works at a technical level. That's that guy. So give him lots of love.
Yeah.
I think Toxic's all set up now. So you got line of sight broken right here, and you have to go around.
Yeah,
and there's like a little shortcut in the middle if you're feeling bold.
So if the okay, I guess the defenders, like if the attack is
coming
from the north,
wire central.
Yeah, I was about to say, like if the attack is coming from north, the defenders can defend power from office,
here,
right?
Right here, and
or just from the doorway.
Yeah, so
if they take office, however, with the door charge, then they have pretty easy access.
Yep. So if they take storage, your expected sight lines, you got somebody here, you might have somebody here doing the same thing, somebody here or somebody here. Like it's kind of like 4 or 5 positions to play from, which is about kind of what you're looking for.
And if there's a barbed wire involved, this is going to be rough to get through for sure.
And so like if they come from the other direction, it's like, well, you have to contend with being shot from anywhere out here, which is a lot. But possible positions on the inside is somebody back here shooting in. Here, back here. So it's like you still have a lot of angles to deal with. Some of them are quite extreme, so this is a choice. So like perhaps throwing a smoke over here wouldn't be the end of the world until you've you've cleared out this area and you kind of hold your own, then you move through. But I mean, that's up to the players.
Yeah, you could also have someone like a defender sitting in toxic, watching the office door, like from behind.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. That was
thingies.
one of the lines I drew.
No.
Like,
I meant like further behind, like behind.
Yeah, like back here. Like
yeah, exactly.
Like that's a pretty sharp angle. So like.
I mean, like just watching the office door into toxic. I was talking about.
Yeah, that angle's not possible. But yeah.
Like, no. I mean, like from behind the toxic thingy, to the door towards office. No, to office, the other way around. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can do that. But like, yeah, for me, I try to think about, like, for me, the thing I think about most is getting players into the level. So like, when I place a door, it's like, how many ways can you get shot from coming in here? How extreme is the angle? This one is pretty extreme because it's a 180. But like, you can throw, this is big enough for a smoke, so you could smoke it off if you wanted to, if it's worried about you. If you're worried about it. Once riot shields come in, like, you just immediately riot shield down there.
Oh yeah, true.
Like, I do try to keep those things in mind because eventually that will come back and I'll start being able to do some more interesting, like, some more interesting pushes where riot shields are the solution. Because, like, for me, a lot of the times I think about these levels as an open-ended problem that you need to solve, and like the gear in the truck and the defender room are your tools to solve the problems.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's a good way of looking at it, I feel.
So it's like, in this case, like, what's your solution to this problem right here of being hit from a 90-degree angle? Well, you could try to yeet a flashbang over there, you can get a smoke over here, or you could riot shield it when it's back in. Like, either you've got a couple solutions to this problem. Like, I try to not put you don't want to put an unsolvable problem in front of a player because it's just going to frustrate everybody. Like, right now, this is why we get a lot of feedback regarding all of the windows in Kill House, because it feels like an unsolvable problem, that this line of sight is just there all of the time and I don't have any way to counter it as a defender. So it's like, if we bring smoke extinguishers back as a deployable item, well, here's kind of your solution to your sight line. Put this by a window. If an attacker reveals themselves, shoot it and you don't have to worry about it now.
Yeah, that would be a good use.
Is it the best solution? Probably not, but it is a tool to deal with the problem rather than just like, it's here and I'm stuck with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this is all about, right?
Yeah.
Getting the
and
right
this is why when Red
right
Commissar asked if I'll ever do green entrance docks by opening the doors in the back of the trailer, not until riot shields come in, because that is the best answer. Otherwise, you're just gonna get like two guys with KR-82s sitting here just going right down the thing, and it's gonna suck.
I see.
Because you don't have an effective enough of a counter. Because yeah, sure, you could chuck a smoke up there, but you're still gonna get hit with bullets because they have a very narrow corridor to aim down. Wait a minute, where'd my thing go? There it is. Oh, now I get to play Where Do I Want My Door?
Okay. Have you considered some sort of window boards for defenders?
Like that's not my thing.
I just realized it's not a level question.
Yeah, I can't answer that one. Like anything that has to do with have we considered item X, like I'm not privy to all those conversations. The answer is maybe. I don't know.
It would be, I mean, if it comes in, it would definitely be something you would have to consider as a level designer though, but
I mean, yeah, but at that point, it's like, I'd be more worried about, is this thing understandable from the map view? And if it happens, it needs to be like, oh, the attackers need to be informed that this thing has been cut off for them. They can't make a plan around going, we're going to post a dude up here to look through here. They get there and the line of sight is gone, and well, fuck that. Like, that would be my issue with that item, is it needs to be understandable when it's used and need to make it obvious, because otherwise you're going to screw over somebody's plan.
Yeah, totally. That's what we were talking about earlier with predictability.
Yeah, this is why I'm more interested in things like the smoke extinguisher.
Or readability, rather.
Yeah, I'm more interested in like the smoke extinguisher because it lasts a while, but it's not permanent.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, they screwed us over for a little bit. Well, hang on, we're still going to keep doing it. Wait till the smoke screen goes away. Like, but at that point you're playing against time, and time is a limiting factor.
Yeah. At that point you have the choice: you either stick with your plan and lose a few seconds, or you make a new plan on the fly, basically.
Yeah,
Change
it's like
plans.
there's choices that you have to make in the
Yay,
moment.
choices. So Six-Sided says, I think conveyors and the machines on conveyors are an overlooked gem of the factory maps.
Oh, they're great. Don't worry, I love them.
What are your thoughts on those sections?
Oh, I just answered. I love conveyors. I think they're
Okay.
great. I wish we had more stuff for them. And maybe one day we will. We'll see.
Has there ever been
I
a
don't know the
factory?
future.
Has there ever been a factory where the windows are green doors? Like
Yes.
this is where you enter through the window.
Yes.
Really?
I have done that.
Oh.
I have done that before. It was a long time ago. It was the
Okay.
original meme. It was the original meme map, and all I did was I removed all of this and then had a thing going up to it like a vent. And yeah, I have done that before.
That's funny.
So if you remember Schmidt's map, Schmidt actually did. He wanted his storage or his some of his windows. You were able to go up on top of them because servers is in front of it. And you can shoot through them. Mm-hmm. All it would have taken was for him to go, "Can you remove the window?" And that's a green door. Answer is yes. I could do that.
Yeah, I love how you can like all the stuff is kind of generated, but then you can just like change everything, and it gives you all these options.
The generator does again all of the invisible like hard work, like the lighting probes, the reflection probes, the level volumes, the shape of the level. The textures on the walls, like all the really super tedious stuff, Level Gen takes care of, and that's that's the magic of it. That's what lets me make a level in 40 minutes.
Yeah, I think we were a little bit over 40 minutes with this one so far, but.
But yeah, I've been doing a lot of talking.
Yeah, true. What about an office skylight similar to the storefront skylights?
I know I've thought about that before. Like having right now we have these little vents. I think it would be interesting. I don't know if I do it as an entrance. But like if there was a really big like skylight on it, and you could easily chuck grenades into it and do things like that.
Grenades! Yeah, sure.
It wouldn't work very well as an it wouldn't work very well as an entrance because you're not by design you're not supposed to get up here.
Yeah.
But because if I'm letting you on top of this thing, like you have access to the whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that would be. Yeah. I've considered doing a little skylight to have a nade chuck in there, but that requires time from the art team, implementation.
All right, yeah, we don't have. Yeah, that makes sense. We cannot just use the one.
We can't just poof it out of midair. We gotta be like, this is a thing that we want, and then actually do it.
Okay.
But yeah, if you want to see some of that self-assembling stuff, I don't know who asked about it before. Conveyor belts is one of them. So
yeah, give us some self-assembly stuff.
So like if I hit this button, it'll look to see where there's a path, and then it'll just keep going. So I can keep hitting this, and it'll just keep going.
I love. Like this is so cool. It's just like
it's just like
snake around,
and then that one went into the wall.
Oh, oops.
Bad times. But yeah, you get the idea. Like it'll.
How did that happen? Is like a node missing or something?
Short.
Or
say again.
How did that happen? Is there like a node missing or?
Yeah, there's a node missing on the opposite side of this wall. I actually was the one that made these, and it looks for the node. On the other side of the wall, so you have nodes on the inside and the opposite side. This one, yeah, you can tell it doesn't have any, so it just went right through the wall.
Okay. Yeah, and that's a cool thing though. Like, or that's
it's just level gen being level gen.
It's not too bad that this stuff happens because you immediately see it and can fix it.
Yeah,
right?
it's like I know why it happened. I can go fix it.
Like if we would like to come back to the topic earlier, like if the goal would be to write a completely autonomous algorithm that does it all by itself, it would not be allowed to make any of those mistakes. Like it would have to be like foolproof to not screw it up.
Pretty much. I mean, there's other ways I can solve that problem.
This gives a lot of leeway.
Like there's other ways I can solve that problem. Like I could use that custom bounding box that I mentioned before and basically just put one underneath here. And if it ever clips through it, it goes, you can't do that. Like there's multiple ways to solve the problem.
Will we ever see tunnels, recessed flooring? I think we had that already. Tricky.
So tunnels are tricky because it needs to be understandable and readable from the map problem, and this is the 2F problem, but with a different name.
Yeah. True.
So like we have done those before. I've also done recessed areas before. If you played the clubhouse maps, the dance floor was recessed into the floor.
Yeah.
Like we've done that. So will it come back again? Probably, because I thought it was quite interesting and people enjoyed it, because that was the feedback I was getting.
Okay. So what is still missing?
I'm gonna put a thingy down here, and then I think I'm done.
Okay.
And then I need to move truck. Because this is a pretty ginormous line of sight that I like. Because like you can stick a dude in dock and just have him blast away, at, like covering the sight line, but the sight line is obvious.
Yeah.
I am gonna rotate this to be like this though. So you can't cover bomb. If somebody is on bomb, you have to come out of your sniper hole. But so it means people can hide up here, up in office, back here. Like these are the areas that you need to clear out to win. If I rotated the bomb like this becomes disgusting because now you can cover bomb from here, from all of these areas back here, from up here. You could even cover it from up here. Like it gets really gross.
Yeah.
But like in this, it's like, well, you can cover people getting to bomb, but if they get to bomb, you're gonna have to leave.
Yeah. So can we, for the truck, like have the viewers guess where you put it?
Oh, just where the truck goes?
Yeah,
I mean, I can.
Because I don't think you want them I don't think you want to let them choose it, but we could make like a little.
I mean, I'm gonna figure out where it goes. Like, it's gotta go somewhere.
Just don't spoil it. Like, give them a few seconds to guess where it goes.
Oh, okay. Like, hang on. Let me just back this up into the corner.
Sure. Then you can tell them why that's a bad spot.
Well, I know where people are gonna click. It's gonna be like fucking right in front of the green door. Come on, guys, don't do that to me.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure I nope, missed a piece.
Okay, why did you just replace that? It looked fine to me.
So I know it was fine, but like generally when I do shelving has end caps to define this is where it ends.
Okay.
And I was just
consistency.
This one didn't have an end cap. It's just a small like little design quirk that I like to have. Like this is the area. Technically this should be back here, but
all right. Can you like give us a good view and then stop?
Yeah, let me just drive this thing to like a top down and then I'll.
Okay. Cool.
This is
so,
truck.
Don't click where you want the truck to be. Click where you think Axsom will put
I even moved my mouse off the screen.
Okay, so click.
This is the best answer.
What is the best answer?
Oh, I want the solution.
Okay, so most people put it on the western side of the map, like next to Toxic. Yeah, a little high up, but yeah.
Okay. Best solution is actually where it is and flip it around.
Some people put it inside the map. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, of course. So this is actually the best solution. So if I put it over here, if the truck is facing south, you can open this door and shoot.
Oh yeah, good point. And
if I put it this way, over here, same thing can happen. As the attackers come out and around, you can just.
Oh yeah, that's a little annoying. I guess it meant they're outside at that point, so it's fair game, but still.
It is fair game, but you can still do it. Over here is the best because this fan is not accessible to defenders. So if I point it this way, the only thing they have to worry about is people eating stuff out the windows, which is a hard throw. So like, perhaps it's like over here is better because it's a longer distance. Like.
Oh yeah, throwing a Molotov out of that window would be.
Like that's something I do. That's something to consider. But yeah, it's like over here, like Another good spot would have been down here by docks. With the
some
back
people
end of the,
click there actually.
With the back end of the truck, like kind of like this way or that way. Those are also good spots.
Didn't you mention earlier you want to open up one of the docks?
Oh yeah, I need to open up a dock. Thank you. Let's do the left one.
Why?
Because I really want people to use this disgusting angle.
Oh, this one. Yeah. Okay. Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, so I opened up this so attackers can get in here.
So attackers
they
get
will
the
also
other
get
angle.
A gross angle.
Yeah. But a little different one. Yeah, okay.
It's slightly different, but it's like pick your poison. Which one do you want? All right, cool. That one's done. Banner warrior.
I think that's also a good point for us to wrap it up here.
Yeah.
So,
all right, here we go. We did 2 factories today.
We did 2 factories. I guess we could have been faster, but we wanted to talk a lot and
Oh
explain a
yeah,
lot,
we're
so
talking
that makes
about
sense.
stuff, and I can't manipulate the level and hold down my push to talk at the same time. Otherwise, like bad shit happens. Like I end up like zooming in and out really fast and
Yeah.
shit like that, or I end up like activating other keybinds. So
That makes sense. That makes sense.
it's like anytime I'm talking, I basically have to stop, unless
Alright.
I'm like looking around or doing something.
Okay.
Or doing
I think
something
I think that was fun though. I had fun.
Yeah.
It's interesting to see more of level design, and I think people enjoyed it. Lots of questions have been answered. There will be more level gen. Actually, there will be more level gen. I mean, can I say? Yeah, I think it got confirmed. So let's say like there's a 95% chance that there will be another level gen stream tomorrow, but not with Axsom and me, but with Sandwich and Smith to mix things up. And then I'll do another at the same time as today. So what's that? 1 p.m. EST or something like that.
Probably a little after that. I think it's like 2.
Wait, let me check. I can actually look
Meetings.
it up. I have like a little thing somewhere where the correct times are. Wait, where is it? Where did it go? Okay, I don't have it. I just opened up my time zone converter. God damn it.
It's okay. It's probably 2.
It should be. Where are we? No, actually, it's the other way around. Yeah, it's 2 PST, but it's 5 EST. That's the one.
Here we go.
Does this make
Can I
sense?
remember to? Yeah, okay, a staircase is over
That should make sense.
here. Yeah, there's another one of those like auto spawning things. I can just place the door, hit a button, and it poops a staircase out for me.
I'll try to keep the stream times consistent, so most streams start at the same time or run for the same time. So yeah, expect another stream at the same time tomorrow with levels with Sandwich and Smith, and then I'll do another community hour stream on Wednesday at the same time. So you can ask questions about the game in general at Wednesday and play a game with me if you want to. And also, I believe there will be more dev team practice over this later this week. So that should be fun. I'm also uploading, or all the videos are also available like on YouTube, and the VODs are available on Twitch, obviously. But if you clip anything, I'll try to make highlights of those clips, so feel free to do that in the future. And I guess you're gonna create more factories now, right? Because
for those that are Nitro boosters in Discord, I'll probably be doing another like map stream at like 9 or 10 o'clock tonight Pacific.
With the added benefit that they actually can talk to you.
Yeah, they usually we usually talk about dumb shit in there, so it's way less it's way less productive than here, but it also goes on till like 5 in the morning. So
yeah, you have a weird sleep schedule.
Yeah, I'm a sleepless vampire. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. We'll be back with this next week if nothing goes completely wrong. But the plan is to make these do these regularly. So
I'm sure every single time we need a counter to be like, how many times are you guys working on new tile sets? How many times does this get asked?
You should probably do like an FAQ thing and just like do bot commands or something.
That'll happen every single time.
Yeah, they ask the same questions will be asked every time. That's just bound to happen. I mean, we answered a lot of questions today. I might, maybe for future episodes, we'll go a little lighter on the questions and focus a little more on the actual level design. Yeah. But I think it makes sense for the first few streams to just like, people will have a lot of questions, so let's answer them.
Of course. Ooh, I like this one.
All right.
This one's getting made.
All right. We can see level generation in.
Yeah, you can get the layout, but you won't know where I'm putting cover afterwards.
Okay. All right.
Well, we'll catch everybody later. Thanks for hanging out.
We'll wrap it up here. If I find the red button there. So yeah, this was Axsom and me, TH Pine, and see you around. And have a good day. Bye bye.
Later, everybody.
District 1, I'm receiving at 39. 75 Frank. District 1, I'm receiving at 39. 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 District 1, I'm receiving at 39.